Welcome, Knicks Nation. Happy weekend to all of you. Hopefully, everyone is safe and healthy and enjoying this weekend. Greetings to all the Knick Nation. Joseph Vendimio, Brother Malik Shabazz, Lee Thomas. Greetings to all of you in Knicks Nation again. June Man 15. Hopefully, everybody is safe and healthy and enjoying this weekend. Deshaun Wilson, Jay Crush, Miss Lumley, Miss Stevenson, Earl Thomas. Good afternoon to all of you. Nick Apocalypse. Shabbat, I say Shabbat Shalom. Glory to you. Greetings to you, Stan Mann, Guilford McCormick. What's up? Hope everybody again is enjoying their weekend and that the weekend is safe and healthy for everybody. So we're just going to review all of the stuff we went through this week. Right now, as we're going into the middle of August, we're in the middle of August, we really have about a month and a half until training camp, about a month and a half. And again, August is the longest period of the season for me because it's the off season and really there's nothing going on in August. But with the Knicks, there's a couple of things we're waiting for. I'm still looking at my phone for the Landry Shamet signing. I'm waiting to get the Landry Shamet on board. So I'm looking for Shams and I'm looking at Ian Begley to see if there's any Landry Shamet signing, because that's what I'm looking for him to get that veterans minimum spot. Yeshaya, what's up? Lee Thomas, Donna, 140th Street, Dutch Money 22, Cash Out James. How's everybody doing? So, yeah, I'm looking for Shamet to get that last spot. The coaching staff appears to be set with, what's the name? TJ Saint and Chris Jent on the offensive side of the ball and Brendon OConnor on the defensive side of the ball. And so it appears that the coaching staff is in place. I did hear about another, aside from Fawad, I did hear about another possible coach, but nothing's definite. It looks like at this point that Mike Brown himself, along with Brendon OConnor, is going to be handling the defensive side of the basketball for this Knicks team. Optimistic Giants, Knicks, Yanks fan, shalom to you. Luxie Walker, Visions, shalom to you. Jay Supreme, Peter White, Tony Tippins, greetings to all of you. Yeah, so it looks like that Mike Brown and Brendon OConnor will be handling the defensive side of basketball. Thomas Days, welcome to you. It looks like you have Chris Jent and TJ Saint handling the offensive side of the ball. And then, as I mentioned before, you have the specialized coaches, Mark Bryant for the big men, Mo Cheeks for the guards, Brunson, father for Brunson, and so on. So it looks like that's what we got going into the season. Again, I'm just waiting. Ian Begley gave us the news earlier this past week that there's a strong sentiment within the Knicks organization that Landry Shamet is going to get that veteran minimum contract, which is what I want. I want Landry Shamet back. And so that's what we're looking for. Also, this is the first time, I don't even know, it's like, I would say it's at least 3 seasons, probably more, but definitely the first time in 3 seasons that Mitchell Robinson is not having to use the summer to either recover from an injury or rehab from an injury. So this is the first time in a while that he's going to be coming into camp healthy and having an opportunity this summer to actually just work out and make sure that he's in shape for the summer. So that's going to be huge for the Knicks, because if you recall this past season, for example, they went into the season without Mitchell Robinson, and they spent the whole season with Karl-Anthony Towns playing the 5, and they could not use Towns that much at the 4 because they did not have Mitchell Robinson. they started putting some Ariel Huporti in there, and he actually looked good until his meniscus injury. So this year, we're going to have Mitchell Robinson. And we were waiting for Mitchell Robinson last year. And if you recall, we kept getting a little tease, maybe December, maybe January. Then it went to February. And finally, around end of February, I think, or March, we got Mitchell Robinson back. Then they had to bring him along slowly, as you know, and then get him, prepared for the playoffs. Well, this year, he comes in the camp ready to go, hopefully. And there's no injuries at this point. But yeah, I think that's going to be good for the team. And overall, the only other injury of note was Josh Hart with the ring finger on the right hand. If you recall, he broke his ring finger on the right hand in the playoffs. He still played, but it was broken. That surgery took place in July, and it was a 6-week time frame for his recovery, which means that's all, he should be ready at the end of this month, which means certainly he'll be ready to go come training camp. So it looks like the Knicks are going to be coming into camp with a completely healthy team, which is that alone is good. We haven't actually had that in a while, a completely healthy team coming into training camp. So that's good. Now that they're completely healthy, of course, we all are wishing or hoping that no injuries occur during the preseason, right? We don't want that during the preseason. So, yeah, that's that. Yeah, and Cat is going to be not only I think we've seen not only is Cat healthy, but I think we'll notice that he has appeared to be slimmer. He's appeared to be slimmer. He looks like he's worked out and got himself in some shape. So that's good. But of course, my biggest concern with Mr. Gatto is, can he improve himself defensively? Which is why I assumed that Big Perk suggested he lose weight. He needs to move a little better. I'm not asking him to be Mitchell Robinson, but can he defend the pick and roll a little better? One of the worst pick and roll defenders, I think, in the league last year. So can he defend the pick and roll a little better? Can he cover a little bit more ground? Again, not expecting to be Mitchell Robinson defensively. That's why Mitchell Robinson will be probably starting next to him. But just enough so that he has not a complete weakness that gets continually exploited defensively. Okay. And yes, Malik is absolutely correct. Can we get him to stop the stupid fouls? Can he? Hopefully. He looked at some film this summer, hopefully, with Mike Brown. He looked at some film and saw all of those incidents where he was committing offensive fouls unnecessarily, and then defensive fouls that were just straight up silly. Hopefully he saw that. And hopefully that can be corrected. Okay, that can be corrected. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, it's big for the Knicks, a big year. Everybody, pretty much, even the media, which is actually dangerous, but the media is expecting the Knicks to be a top team in the East, and most of us are looking for a finals appearance from the New York Knicks this year. The first time in a long time that we have a realistic chance at actually making the finals this year. The Knicks are a legitimate favorite to come out of the East. A long time. And of course, that has a lot to do with injuries to Halliburton, injuries to Jason Tatum, the Milwaukee Bucks and the removal of Dame Dollar. So these things work together to cause us to have hope for the Knicks coming into the East. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. As far as other names, it's this, listen, with respect to the Knicks, we understand that any name that was really good 10 years ago, like Westbrook, there's always going to be knuckleheads that want them on the Knicks. even if they don't fit, even if you got players that play better than him. It's a big name, and they're looking at Westbrook like the guy that kept wanting Simmons, and he was playing clips of Simmons at his best in Philly, which he hasn't been like that, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And so they're looking at Simmons, hoping for Philadelphia 76ers all-NBA defense Simmons, and not actually being realistic to understand that's not him anymore. Anybody asking for Westbrook is doing the same thing. You have Shamet. He has already proven he can play. I don't know what it is that there's people that claim to be Knicks fans, and it almost as if they're expecting an all-star at every position from 1 through 12. That's what it appears to me to be sometimes. If a guy is not all-star level, they're always looking to trade him. And it doesn't matter, the guy that they're looking to get, the trade is unavailable, if he's too expensive, if he's injury prone, all that is crazy. Like they're expecting the guys to be 1 through 12 NBA all-star level. And it makes no sense. Or they're expecting a guy that for his career can't hit a layup to all of a sudden come to the Knicks and start shooting threes. It's really ridiculous, man. It's like, that's why I kind of like, I ignore it because it's not even worth the conversation. Like, why are we even discussing that? G-Man 78, what's up, man? Why are we even talking about that? That's not even something. See, if we really, I know the real Knicks fan wants a championship. But how you get that championship is different from every Knicks fan. Some Knicks fans, like I said, every single game that the Knicks lose, there's always some people, more than one, that'll say the Knicks should have won that game and this loss is on the coach. Every game. So if I was to listen to these fools, the Knicks should go 82-0. And if they don't go 82-0, they should fire the coach. That's really, it's ridiculous. And if they have a 2 or 3 game losing streak, it's like they're the only team in the NBA that does that. They're the only team that loses 2 or 3 in a row. Nobody does that. The Knicks suck. It's like there are really some emotionally unbalanced people in Knicks Nation. And I mean, all sincerity, there's some emotionally unbalanced people. I guess it could be worse, right? Because emotionally unbalanced people oftentimes commit crimes. So it could be worse. If they're just sitting in their cereal crying because the Knicks lost 2 in a row and it's on a coach and they should fire the coach. Or they should change the way they run their defense or offense based on some knucklehead's view from, from summer league. Okay. So I guess it could be worse. Maybe I shouldn't complain about that. It could be worse, right? But this year, we got a healthy team coming into camp, and that's big time. Big time. Healthy team coming into camp. So I'm really cautiously looking forward to how this is going to play out. We all should be hoping that Mike Brown is very successful. All of us should be giving Mike Brown all of the patience needed. We shouldn't give no timeline for how successful he's got to be at midseason. Let's just let him coach his team. Let them figure this out. Okay? There's a couple of things that we can take to the bank. The Knicks have two all NBA players in their starting lineup. Let's stop there for a minute. Let's just act like you don't know who the roster is. And I was to tell you that the New York Knicks in their starting 5 have 2 players that are first team all NBA. Or just, let's not say first team. Let's just say all NBA. They're all NBA. How would you feel if I just told you the Knicks have 2 players in their starting lineup, all NBA, how would you feel about that? Right? And no matter who they are, you got 2 all NBA players starting for your New York Knicks. Okay? You got and you got 2, maybe 3 possible all NBA defensive players. Or at least you definitely have 2 starters that have been in their career all NBA defense. So look, you got 2 players that are all NBA and all stars. You got 2 players that in their careers have been all NBA defensive players. How would you feel about that team? Right? How would you feel about that team? Because that's what you got. And then there's Mitchell Robinson, who is coming into camp healthy. And I have always thought that he has all defense potential. I mean, do you agree with that? I think Mitchell Robinson has all NBA defensive potential. I mean, he's got talent enough to make an all NBA defensive team. He just never plays a whole season. That's the problem. So that's what we got. And then your bench is going to be Garshawn Yabusele, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, right? And Jordan Clarkson. That's your bench. And then you might have Ariel Hooparty as your backup 5. So that is a squad right there. And that's why you add to that a Landry Shamet as your 11th guy. And that's why I was telling, somebody was trying, and this is another thing. I guess in the age of, TikTok and, 60-second commercials for videos, people don't pay attention. Sometimes they just don't pay attention. So I was saying that as an important player will be the 12th guy, because the 12th guy is going to get summons, not rotation minutes, but he'll get minutes. And when other players are hurt, the 12th guy will get rotation minutes when the other guys are hurt. Somebody said, well, I don't think Brown's going to play 12 guys. And he was acting as if I said Brown would play 12 guys in the rotation. I didn't say that. I said that the 12th guy will get some minutes, maybe not rotation minutes, but he'll get some minutes. And generally, if you look at past history, the 12th guy on a team like Browns that usually plays 10 guys, the 12th guy will usually get anywhere from 6 minutes a game to 9 minutes a game. So generally, rotation players are 10 minutes or more. The 12th guy will get about 6 to 8, maybe 9 minutes a game. And then, like if Brunson twists his ankle or OG twists his ankle and he has to sit out a couple of games, your 12th guy will move into the rotation. Okay? And that's why it's going to be important, because the only guy that the Knicks have on their team that you might even almost, and I'm going to knock on wood, that you can kind of pencil in for 82 games is Mikal Bridges, right? That's the only guy, which means that all the other 9 guys in the rotation are going to play, let's say, 72 games, which means guys are going to miss about 10 games. So if you're talking about 9 guys, each missing approximately 10 games, not all at the same time, but so you're talking about 90 games that's going to be missed. 90 games between those 9 guys. So you're going to have to play the 11th and 12th guy. Now, if they sign Landry Shamet, it's a given. He's going to be the 11th guy. But the 12th guy is going to be very important. And what I'm very excited about with respect to Mike Brown is that 12th guy is not written in stone. That 12th man is going to earn that spot. And it doesn't matter who it is. If it's Tyler Kolek, if it's Mo Diawara, if it's Beauchamp, that 12th guy is going to earn that position. And earning that spot puts him in a position to make an impact. Right. You eat what you cook, right? Coach Hart Was that Fizz Goggles? That was Fizz, or was that Tibbs? Who said that? You eat what you kill. Was that Fizz Goggles? And he was full of crap. But I think Mike Brown would be telling the truth if he said. So, so whoever that 12th guy is going to be eat what you kill dude. And I don't know who it's going to be. I'm hoping it's either Beauchamp or Diawara, a wing type guy that could guard multiple positions. But we'll see. Yeah, Fizz Goggles changed his lineups every game, man. Anyway, so we'll see. That is going to be an interesting dynamic to watch. Who's going to be that 12th man? That's what I want to know. Because the 10 guys are going to play as long as they're healthy. They're going to play. Then the 11th guy will always sub in for a good 8 minutes. But if somebody's hurt, the 11th and 12th guys step in. What's up, Pick New York? And Fizz Goggles. You kill what you eat. You eat what you kill. That's right. He did say that. Oh, he was so full of crap. And then carrying around that damn axe. Oh, my gosh. And he was acting like this was college. You know, he was trying to motivate these guys like they was playing college. I guess because he had a bunch of young guys. But damn. I'm going to get you right, kid. That's right. Ooh, bless him, bless him. Where is he now? I think he's in Utah. Yeah, so there are 13 back-to-back games this season for the Knicks, which is a decent, it's not an easy schedule and it's not a difficult schedule. It's just a schedule. So that's not uncommon. They have two in November, I think 2 in December, 3 in January, 2 in February, 3 in March, and 1 or 2 in April. 8 of those back-to-back sets either end with the game being at MSG or both games are at MSG, which is good. Okay, so that's good. March is the hellified schedule for the Knicks. March. 11 games on the road, 3 back-to-backs, including a couple on the road. Only 5 games, I think, at home in March. So 3 back-to-backs, a couple of back-to-backs on the road, 5 games at home. March is the hellified schedule. And March is where, that's why I keep talking about the 11th and 12th guy. Because March, you're going to want that guy. You're going to want him playing. You're going to want him playing well. What's up, Knicks fans? You're going to want him playing well in March. Okay? Yeah, so March, yeah, I agree with you, Coach Hauser. If they don't have any major injuries, they should be in a nice flow come March. That's the most thing that makes me the most nervous is Mike Brown does not have a great track record of bringing out his basketball best for his team in April. His teams start off fast and then fizzle out. So we got to hope that this Knicks team is playing its best ball in March and April. Again, that's why I keep bringing up the 11th and 12th guy. That is a very important position for the Knicks right now. Yeah, I mean, and Chris Hauser, you're right. He has not. I know he had LeBron. He had young LeBron, which was all world, but that's all he had. That's all he had on Cleveland. But LeBron was such a talent that was enough to get them to the finals. But yeah, he has never had a team like this. He really has not. And, you know, what I'm hoping is that the perfect storm, a guy like, you know, it's like with Larry Brown with Detroit, which is what I was comparing Tom Thibodeau to. Larry Brown with Detroit would always be a winning coach. His teams would be better than 500, but they could never go far. And the farthest he had gotten was that Philly team with Allen Iverson, where he had Iverson surrounded by all defensive guys. And they went to the finals, but of course they were outmatched by a really superior Laker team, okay? even with Iverson, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't until he had the Detroit team with Rashid having enough experience and talent still. You had Ben Wallace in the middle. You had the kid from UConn at the wing, and of course you had Mr. Big Shot there, the point guard reaching his peak, all at the same time, and that came together perfectly for them to win. Rip Hamilton, right? It came together perfectly for them to win the 2004 NBA championship. And in fact, they were back knocking on the door again the next year. So Brown had really hit his stride as a coach with that team. And I'm hoping, that's Larry Brown, and I'm hoping that this Mike Brown hits his stride this year with this team that is extremely talented. The Knicks are so stacked, it's ridiculous right now. They're stacked up. So that's right. Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, and of course Rashid. And Rashid, if you recall, that series, there was like it was one game or two games where he just completely took over the game. Rashid was like that coming out of North Carolina. He had played in Portland, and they faltered in Portland. And I don't know if he played anyplace else, but then he came to Detroit, and it was the perfect storm because he was always a championship piece. He just never proved it. But all of a sudden, in that series against the Lakers, he took over. Somebody pissed him off, and he took over a couple of games, man. And that was 2 wins in the finals. So we got that. We're talking about Brunson. We're talking about the Road Runner. We're talking about OG. Of course, we're talking about Gato. So that's what I like. You get that team to the finals healthy. We got something here. Okay? That's the whole thing. We got something here. So I'm hoping that Mike Brown is the perfect storm right now with that team that he has and him being a long-time coach. Yeah, so our team is a lot like them. I've been thinking that for a few years now. The Knicks team is a lot like the 2004 Pistons. Really a lot like them. I mean, Oklahoma City is a strange situation because you really got a superstar in SGA at the point guard spot. And you really got a budding superstar in a young Chet Holmgren. And of course, you got definitely solid players in Hartenstein, and of course, Lou Dort, and then there was Alec Caruso. That was a perfect storm also. And it took 7 games for them to beat Indiana. It wasn't no 4-2, 4-1. It wasn't none of that. It was a 7-game series that went to the 7th game because Indiana was good. Okay, Indiana was good. See, so this is the Knicks are a lot like that. And again, that's why when we lost to Indiana and Indiana went to the finals, I kind of knew that's going to change everything because Oklahoma City already played 10 and Indiana played 10. And so it was going to be a 10. I didn't know they were going to fire Tibbs, but I did know that coming into this season, it was going to be a 10-man rotation. It was going to be 10, no doubt, because that's the new trend. Y'all know the NBA is a copycat league. When you see somebody win it all, you just got to look at what they did, and you're going to get teams copying them. And that's where it's at right now. So it's going to be the Knicks got everything else. Just need a 10-man rotation. That's right. Collaboration is where we're at right now. That's exactly right. Collaboration where we're at. No. It was with Oklahoma City, it was talent and continuity because SGA played with J. Will and J. Dub, right? They played together a few seasons. Chet Holmgren had been with them. That was his 3rd season last year. I think it was his 3rd season. And then you had the additions of Caruso with Hartenstein. And then you had the bench. And then, of course, Lou Dort. He had been there. all NBA defender. He had been there. And then you had the bench, and there was guys on the bench that they had at cheap contracts, rookie contracts, and they were balling out. So you got talking about value, right? That was serious value. They got AJ Mitchell, I think his name was AJ Mitchell, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Case and Wallace. They had all of that coming off the bench, man. Case and Wallace. Where's Mitchell? I thought he was on the team. I don't see him on this roster. But it was Mitchell, it was Aaron Wiggins, Caruso, Joe, Wallace. They had guys coming off the bench that was balling. Yeah, so. No, it was just two evenly matched teams, Guilford McCormick. To me, the best team wins in the Game 7 series. So when you see a series go 7 games, that should tell you that those two teams are very evenly matched. An injury, a turnover can cost the series. It was like, y'all remember when Toronto won it all? And before they won it all, they beat Philly. And the game that they beat Philly, y'all remember that shot by Kawhi? The shot where he's falling away, few seconds left on the clock. The ball hits the rim, bounces around the rim, and goes in. And that was the series. That was the game. That was the series. When two teams are closely matched, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And that's what the NBA wants, right? That's why you got a lot of parity in the league right now. That's what the NBA wants. The days of getting 3 superstars and running the table is over. That's over. At least for nowadays. Them days are over. Unless you could draft and develop a guy. Like they drafted and developed Chet Holmgren, Dort, J-Dub. All of them were drafted and developed guys for Oklahoma City. Yeah, I remember that. That's right. So, yeah. But that's how much parity there is. So the series going 7 games was a function of how closely aligned the Pacers. Now, let me ask you all this question. Unlike when Tatum got hurt in the Knicks series, right? How many of the Knicks were winning that series anyway? When Tatum got hurt, they were trying to come back. The Knicks were beating them, right? That was going to be, they were losing that series regardless, whether Tatum was not hurt or hurt. Celtics were losing that series, okay? So that didn't really matter. The Celtics were going to lose that series. When they lost them 2 games, when the Knicks came back, that was the series. But I believe if Halliburton didn't get hurt in Game 7, we don't know what could have happened. Right? What do y'all think? I think that if Halliburton didn't mess his Achilles up in Game 7, that series could have gone either way. Unlike the Celtics series. Celtics were going to lose that series. They were trying to desperately come back with the Knicks leading, and the Knicks had all the momentum. The injury just, put the nail in the coffin, but they weren't winning that series. The Knicks were going to win that series, okay? The Knicks were going to win that series. So that was just that. But in the finals, Halliburton's Achilles, if he don't hurt his Achilles, that series could go either way. Either way. And you know what? Just like we have to admit, if Halliburton doesn't hit that crazy shot that bounces straight up and goes through the hole, I think that was Game 1, the Knicks might have had a chance to win that series. But you see, they were so closely aligned that first game, that shot really was the series. Okay? That shot, that game was the series. And we know during the course of that game, Neesmith went nuts. The Knicks were up and Neesmith went nuts. That was the game. That was the game right there. See, that was the game. So, and then it turned out that was the series. But that's because these two teams are so evenly matched. Okay? They were so evenly matched. And that's what you want in the finals. So the finals for this past season, these two teams were evenly matched. And that's saying something because you're talking about what? Oklahoma City won 68 games, right? I want to say, right? They won 68 games. They were the dominant team in the West. They were coming through, and the Pacers was right there with them. And so it could have gone either way. So I suspect that we're looking at a similar situation this year. We're looking at a similar situation. Yeah. So yeah, this is really. It just goes to show you the amount of stress that, because these athletes work hard, right? And in the NBA, I mean, you can argue which sport has the greatest athletes: football, basketball, track and field. You could argue that. But one thing I think nobody would argue about is that the NBA athlete is an elite athlete. Like, there was a pitch for Arizona Diamondbacks named Randy Johnson. And Randy Johnson couldn't do nothing but pitch. If you ask him to run, to hit, to catch, he couldn't do none of that. He wasn't no athlete, but he could pitch. So that baseball, if you have eye-hand coordination, if you're skilled, you don't have to be a great athlete to be a great baseball player. Though great athletes are also great baseball players. But Willie Mays was one of the greatest athletes ever, period. But Randy Johnson was one of the greatest pitchers ever, and he wasn't no great athlete. But as far as athletic ability, the NBA has world-class athletes. Okay, the NBA does. The NBA has world-class athletes, and they put a lot of stress on their bodies, on their knees, and obviously on their Achilles. The foot-pounds of pressure they put on their feet when they're doing what they do. I don't even know if it's ever been measured. It's a lot. It's a lot. They put a lot of pressure on their knees and on their Achilles. So, yeah, that's right. Kurt Schilling, another one. Even Pedro Martinez, he can throw a ball look like it was on a rope that was spinning, like a jump rope that people play double dutch on. He could throw a ball like that, and he knew when he threw it, they wasn't going to hit it. But you asked him to do anything else, he wasn't going to do it. And that was his pitch. I don't know what the pitch was called, but he could throw that daggone thing, and it'd be going like this, and the guy didn't know where it was going. It was like the dude that pitched for the Mets yesterday. Did y'all see him? I forgot his name. He's the Mets draft pick. That boy was throwing the ball, man. That stuff was wicked nasty. You talk about nasty stuff. That was nasty. So if you could put your hands right and spin that ball right and make it go certain ways, you don't have to be a great athlete to be striking brothers out, right? But in the league, you got to be an athlete to play. Okay? And you got to specialize in something. You can't just be able to jump high. You got to be able to cut, to run, to dribble, to defend, to shoot, to reach something. You got to bring something to the table that makes you elite. But one thing you're going to bring to the table is athleticism. Okay? Yeah, pick New York for real. Yeah, Nolan McClain. I was looking at highlights of that game last night. That's what I saw. I saw highlights. I said, damn, what this boy was throwing, man? I didn't know who he was. And then I looked it up and found out he was a rookie because he looked more mature than a rookie. He looked more mature. I was looking at him and I was like, damn, this boy, big, strong boy. And he was throwing some stuff out there. I said, damn, who's going to hit that? And the thing is, it was the same damn pitch. He kept throwing the same pitch. Then y'all going to hit it, I dare you. That's what Pedro Martinez used to do. I'm going to throw this pitch. I'm going to tell you I'm going to throw it, and you still ain't going to hit it. That's some damn Bob Gibson type stuff, man. That's some damn Bob Gibson type stuff, man. I'm trying to tell you. That's some Bob Gibson stuff, man. So, but like Vida Blue, I'm not getting too far off the subject. Vida Blue and Bob Gibson were athletes. Ron Guidry, he was an athlete. Okay? He was an athlete. There's some pitchers that are really athletic dudes, okay? But that don't mean just because you are, you're going to be a great pitcher. Okay, Rod Guidry, Vida Blue, Bob Gibson, Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens. These dudes were buff athletes, okay? But Randy Johnson, he wasn't no damn athlete. You could probably outrun Randy Johnson the first base. And then there was Pedro Martinez. He wasn't no athlete, But in the NBA, if you're going to play, you better be able to hang out athletically, okay? You got to be able to hang out athletically. You got to. Otherwise, you can't play, okay? And you got to bring something to the table. Like, let's take Tyler Kolek. I think Kolek is an athletic human being. He's athletic. He just can't play NBA level defense. And that not everybody can. Okay. Brunson is not as athletic as he's not as athletic as Russell Westbrook, right? Brunson is not athletic like Russell Westbrook, but he's athletic. Brunson can dunk. Y'all know Brunson can dunk, right? It takes an athlete at 6'2", whatever he is, to be able to dunk. He can dunk the basketball. We know his footwork is elite. And of course, dude can shoot the lights out, So he's an athlete. Everybody in the league is an athlete. It's just because you got elite athletes that you're playing against, it makes other athletes look not so elite, right? So Jaylen Brown is an elite athlete. Elite. And if you're playing against him, he makes you look like you can't, walk and chew gum at the same time. That's because he's so elite athletic. There's a lot of guys like that. Oh, yeah, professional trainers, modern technology with diet and all of that helps a lot. But your human body can only take but so much. You're still human, okay? You could have all kind of training methods, all kind of diets. You can get in all kind of shape. You can use PEDs or whatever you want to do. Your body could break down still, okay? There's only but so much that your body could take. And obviously, we have seen Jason Tatum and Halliburton are the two highlights of that. Even Dame Dollar, we've seen even a guy that is, to me, one of the greatest finishers to ever play in the NBA, Kyrie Irving, one of the greatest ball handlers to ever play in the NBA, Kyrie Irving, tore his ACL. He tore his ACL last year, okay? Your body can only take so much. Oh, yeah. I've been a Mets fan from when they won the World Series, with Tommy Agee, Cleon Jones, Don Clendenin, and them, Tom Seaver, Jerry Kuzman said, "You got to believe." I remember that. Matter of fact, when I was in fourth grade. And now I look back and realize teachers just wanted to keep us quiet. They used to play film of the World Series, which the Mets had won the year before. They played film with Baltimore against New York. Okay, Jerry Kuzman, Tom Seaver. Yeah, man. Shoot, man. I knew all those guys. Bud Harrelson. I know all them guys, man. John Clendenin, Tommy Agee, Cleon Jones, Jerry, who else? Oh, man, I knew all them guys. Now, I don't think Sid was on that team, Coach House. Sid came later. I think Sid Fernandez came later. No, I don't think he was on that team. He might have been on the 86 team. You talking about the 86 team. That's Darryl Strawberry. Yeah, Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry. What was the first baseman? He won the MVP too. Spanish dude. First base. I forgot his name. He's now announcing, but he was the first baseman. Yeah, that was a different squad, man. That was a different team. Yeah, Keith Hernandez. Ed Kranepool goes back to the 69. Ed Kranepool goes back to the 69 Mets. Franco was on that 86 team. Yeah, that was a different team. But I go back as a Mets fan to Kranepool, Buddy Harrelson, Jerry Grody. Y'all remember Jerry Grody? That was the catcher. Jerry Grody, Tom Seaver, Jerry Kuzman. I go back then. Nolan Ryan actually got traded. He was on the team the year before and got traded. Joe Torre played for the Cardinals. He played for the Cardinals. Y'all remember that? Joe Torre played for the Cardinals. Yeah. But Jerry Grody was the catcher. Jerry Grody was the catcher for the Mets that won the chip. Jerry Grody was the catcher. Yo, I know all them cats because I used to watch them faithfully. Me and my man watched them all summer long. We call each other because they was losing every game. They was losing all the time. The Mets used to suck. They used to, and we'd still be rooting for them. I'd be like, come on, buddy, get that boy base hit. We'd be watching the Mets July. We'd be watching the Mets, man. Watching the Mets lose. We part company in football season because I was with the Giants, he was with the Jets. And he's still with the Jets. And I'm still with the Giants. But yeah, the 86 team was a different squad. Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden. Who else? Who was that guy? You just mentioned the Gary Carter was the catcher. Who was the Gary Gentry? Yep, he go back to the 69 team. Who was that guy that was the closer? Who was the closer for the 86 Mets? Y'all just mentioned him. He's a great closer, man. What was that guy's name? Who was the closer for the 86 team? They had a star closer. One of y'all mentioned him a few. John Franco. He was the closer. Yeah, man. John Franco was the closer. John Franco. Yep. Nah, that was a good team. That was a great team. The Mets got 2 chips. The Knicks got 2 chips. Who gonna get the 3rd chip, y'all? Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Knicks Finance is telling me Franco wasn't on that team. I think Franco was on that team, yo. I think he was. I think Franco was on that team. Who was the closer? Oh, Orozco. Ah, yeah, that's right. Orozco. You right. It was Jesse Orozco. I do remember. It was Jesse Orozco. You right. It was Jesse Orozco. Let me not front. It was Jesse Orozco. He was the dude. That's right. I do remember that. That's right. How could I forget? Lenny Dykstra. Oh, yeah. I love Lenny Dykstra. Oh, yeah. Running into walls, Lenny Dykstra type dude. Was Mookie Wilson on that team? I think he was. I think Mookie was on that team. I think Mookie Wilson was on that 86 team. Yeah. I think he was. Yeah, Wally Backman. Oh, shoot, you bring it up now, Wally Backman. I ain't heard that name in a minute. Wally Backman. There you go. Yeah, so hey, listen. Let's get something going this year. Mets going through a little bit of stuff right now, but I still think they got a run in them. It's August 17th. I think they got a run in them. I think you ain't heard the last of the Mets yet. I think we got a run in us. That boy was pitching that damn ball yesterday. Bring him out some more, daggone. That boy was pitching that ball yesterday. Did y'all see it? That boy was pitching that ball yesterday, man. Oh, man. Yep, Ray Knight, Ron Darling, Howard Johnson, all of them. Yep, Hojo. Yep, all them cats, man. Yeah, but that boy was pitching that boy. I forgot his name. Y'all just said it. I can't remember his name. But I was looking at that boy pitching. I was like, damn, who could hit that, man? I mean, you could know what's coming and still not hit it. Shoot. Nah, what was the dude's name yesterday? He was a winning pitcher yesterday. Hang on. Who was the Mets winning pitcher yesterday? Nolan McLean. I'm going to remember his daggone name eventually. Nolan McLean. Yeah, he pitched like 6 innings, right? Pick New York. I think he pitched 6. I thought he was going to throw a no-hitter the way it looked. I was like, this boy, they can't hit him. They can't hit him. Yeah, didn't he get credit for the win, Pick New York? I think he got 6 innings yesterday. He was the 3rd overall pick of the Knicks. Of the Mets. He was the 3rd overall pick of the Mets. It was his major league debut yesterday. Yeah. He keep pitching like that. We're going to see more of him. Shoot. He keep pitching like that. We're going to see more of that cat. They're gone. And you ain't seen the last of Soto and Lindor. I'm going to tell you right now, you ain't seen the last of them cats. Unless they hurt, you ain't seen the last of them. And we still got Pete. They better give Pete his money and quit messing around. Give Pete his money and quit playing, man. That's right. Mo Diawara, that's right. That's right, Coach Howard. That's right. So, hey, I'm pulling. To me, I'd like to see either Beauchamp or Diawara get that 12th man. Yeah, exactly, Dio. I agree. So I ain't seen. I thought the way he was pitching that ball, I thought that he must have came over in a trade, from another team because he pitched like a daggone veteran. I didn't know until they said it was his major league debut. I was like, this boy's a rookie and he pitching like that. Damn, that was some nasty stuff. I almost felt bad for the hitters. There was no way you're gonna hit that ball. There's no way. And then they brought up the dude that the all-star, the reliever that was the all-star. What was that guy? The reliever that was the all-star. They brought him up, and that was ball game right there. That was it. They brought him up, and that was it. That was it, man. Spanish dude. What was that? What's the closer's name? Let me get that guy. The closer. Shoot. Hold on. Sean Manaea. I think it was Sean Manaea I'm talking about. I'm talking about Sean Manaea. Yeah, I think he came in and another guy came in. And that was the end of that stuff. Diaz. That's what I'm talking about. Diaz. Yes. Diaz. Yeah, Diaz. Yeah. He closed it out. I don't know Miss Stevenson. I really don't. I've learned in these times we just have to wait on the dawn. One thing we know, we're all looking for Shamet, but homie is playing chess. So we got to wait and see. Because with the Don, it could be something related to the date he needs to sign to save the Knicks money. I don't know. Shalom, yo, Cherokee Indian. It could be anything with him, man. So, Oh, yeah. Pacome Daddy is 20. Dink Pate is 19. Diawara is 20. And the Knicks only paid got paid first round money for Pacome. That's it. Diawara's second rounder. Dink Pate is a free agent. I mean, he comes in like that. Dang. Somebody better get Walt Perrin a raise. That's all I'm saying. We better get Walt Perrin a raise. He finding these dudes, man. Damn. I had never heard of Pacome Daddy. I had never heard of him. Yeah, exactly. And they get this French dude, this French croissant dude, and he looked like he could ball. He's only 20 now, and he's 6'8". He's a wing, and he can play both sides of the ball. And then this Dink Pate, I had heard of him, but I didn't think he was all that. Nobody drafted him. Somebody made a mistake. That's right, Gorilla Jakes. What's up? For the Knicks, with the Knicks, exactly. Man, the Don knows how to shop for value, man. That boy will go into, it's like my wife, man. He sent my wife into the store with $10. She come out with what you asked for with change. That's the Don. You send him shopping for some talent, he gonna bring you a second round pick with change. I mean, damn. Dink Pate. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about Diawara. Actually, I didn't watch the preseason game, Cherokee. I think it was Giants against the Jets, right? I didn't see that. I don't think I seen that. How's that quarterback? How's that rookie? Was it Dart? How's he playing? Y'all seen? How's the rookie quarterback playing? Because I ain't seen. Was he balling? Okay. I'm looking for big things from that boy. I'm looking for big things from him, man. I'm looking for him to come out slinging. And then has homie showed up yet? Thibodeau, not Tom, the other boy, the boy on the defensive side of New York, the Giants. Thibodeau, that's his name. I'm looking for him to show up. What's wrong with that boy? He always getting hurt and stuff. Let's get him going. I want him to be LT type situation. Yeah. Oh yeah, all four quarterback. Okay. I'm looking for, what's his name? Tavon Thibodeau. I'm looking for him to start balling, man. Yeah. So You know what? I'm feeling New York in the air. You know what I mean? I'm feeling New York in the air, man. I'm feeling New York. The Giants, the Mets, the Knicks. I'm feeling New York. And the Yankees balling too. The Yankees balling too. And I ain't gonna put nothing past the Jets. I ain't putting nothing past the Jets. Not at all, at all. Let's see. Darius Alexander. Let me see. Kayvon Thibodeau, Micah McFadden. That's the dude. We're looking for something from him. Give me some defense, y'all. It's just like basketball and the NFL. Defense wins championships. Listen, in football, I go by like you got to build your offensive line and your defensive line. It don't make no sense to have an elite quarterback if he's going to get his ass handed to him because ain't nobody blocking. You build your team with your offensive line and your defensive line. You got to control the line of scrimmage. Then the next most important thing is cornerback. You got to get a cornerback. You get a cornerback that can lock down a receiver like Revis Island. Now you can start dominating on the defensive side of the ball. Then you need an elite quarterback. You got his protection. You got defense that can get him the football. Now you get an elite quarterback. He ain't got to get his head locked in. He can get protection, and then you can build everything else. You build the running backs, the flankers, your wide receivers, whatever. But you need the offensive line first, the defensive line, control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Then you get you a cornerback that can put people on lock, and then you start going from there. That's how you do it. Now, it's easier said than done because the talent in these areas is hard to find. It's not easy to find that talent. Sometimes it's like basketball. You get a guy that's real talented, but he's always hurt. He's not available, right? Can't do nothing about that, right? You get a guy that's talented and he's always hurt, okay? You got to get a guy that's available and that can play, okay? That's what you need. It's not easy. Football is a tougher game than the basketball to me because they don't last long in football. The career is shorter because every play is contact. Okay, so the career is shorter in football. Former New York Giant #1 Odell Beckham, didn't he retire? Beckham Jr. retired, right? He announced his retirement last week, I think it was. So that's what I'm saying. Football career is shorter. That's why they need to get their money and they need to get it up front because their career is shorter. One play can end their career because there's that's hard. Lloyd's brother asked who's the better athlete. That's what I'm saying. I can't say because football, you have tremendous athletes, right? I mean, you got tremendous athletes in football. And of course, you have tremendous athletes in basketball. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Football has tremendous athletes. Run and jump and fast as I don't know what and strong as I don't know what. It's a different sport, but damn, you got to be an athlete to play some good from football, man. Especially certain positions. You got to be an athlete to play. Yeah, definitely. The body takes more of a beating. In football, you're talking about collisions, right? There's collisions every play. So anytime you have a collision, there's the chance you can get hurt or at least add to a concussion or something. So collisions in every play. Basketball is physical, but it's not as physical as football, obviously. But to me, both of those, if you're talking about hockey, basketball, baseball, and football, it's basketball and football that have the greatest athletes. You can debate which one is greater, but I don't think there's any question that as a whole, basketball players and football players are greater athletes than baseball players and hockey players. You got to be talented to play hockey too now, but it's the same thing, Maybe basketball is more global. Football is really a uniquely American thing. It's not an international thing. They may try to make it international, but football has always been a uniquely American sport. That is an American sport. Okay. So, that is what it is. But basketball is a global sport. It's a global sport. Baseball, obviously, is a global sport. Soccer is a global sport. They call it football. Every place else but the United States, they call it football. But the United States calls it soccer, but everybody else calls it football. But that's a global sport, And the more global your sport is, the more money you can make. That's why I haven't done any research on this, but I would bet you the highest paid athletes in the world are soccer players, because their sport is global, and it's global big time. I bet you that the international championships for soccer get way more television spectators than any other sport. I have not looked this up, so I'm just guessing, but just by the global nature of soccer, there are whole countries that will, the whole nation will be riveted to a soccer game. Okay, like the United States is riveted to the Super Bowl or the World Series. In soccer, you can name a whole bunch of nations. Every nation in South America, nations in Africa, nations in Europe, nations all over the world are glued to their television for an international soccer match. That just shows you how much money's involved, man. A lot of money. Yeah, but football is uniquely American. It's always been that way, always probably will be that way. Okay. Yeah, Ronaldo. There was a couple of guys, Pelé. There was dudes that, that played soccer, and because it was such a big sport, they're going to make their money regardless, because there's too many billions, literally billions of people watching that sport. Versus in the United States, the National Football League has millions of people watching. And in the NBA, you might have billions watching it because you got China. But in soccer, it's always billions of people watching. If it's a British game, if it's a German game, France, it's going to always be billions of people watching it. And the best players are not American. It's one of the few sports that the best players are not American. The best players come from other countries, whether it's South America, Europe. The best players come from other countries. They don't come from the United States. Okay. Best basketball players in the world come from the United States. Best baseball players used to come from the United States. But I have to give the nod to like Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico's the United States, but Dominican Republic, the best baseball players come from Dominican Republic. Oh, is that right? Serial killer? Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I just by the numbers, and that's why, like, if you were like a world-class athlete, and you could play baseball, football, or basketball, and you wanted to make the most money, you definitely play baseball. I'm not talking about what sport you love. I'm talking about you wanted to make the most money. You're a world-class athlete, and you could play baseball, football, or basketball. You would definitely play baseball. Baseball always has made the more money, always, than any sport. And you know why? Football plays, well, now they play, 18 games? Basketball plays 82 games. Baseball plays 162 games. It's like a traveling circus. Traveling circuses make money because they show up in like 100 cities, So they make money. And so does baseball. These guys come into town not for one game. They come into town for 3 games, and they go to another town for 3 games. And they play all the way from March all the way into late September, early October. And that's a lot of games. And that's a lot of money. It's a traveling circus right there. And basketball makes a lot of money because it's 82 games. And that's why women's basketball don't make no money. How many games they play? 30? How many games does the WNBA play? What is their regular season? Let me ask Google. How many games in the WNBA regular season? 44 games. So the WNBA plays 44 games. Unless you're charging $300 a ticket, you ain't making no money with 44 games. You ain't making no money. Okay? You ain't. That ain't enough games. That's why the league plays 82. Anybody talking about shortening the league games, okay, you might be able to do that, but if it's going to cost you money, they ain't going to do it. 82 games is why they make so much money. There's a lot of games. Okay. That's why they make so much money. They play 82 games. Each stadium can hold approximately 20,000 fans. Not that they're always sold out, but even if they have 15,000 and there's 82 games, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. Okay. So that's why. And that's why what made football get so much money was television. It wasn't that they play a lot of games, but think about it. Football used to be 14 games. Then they went to 16 games, okay? And the television money is where football gets the money. But the stadiums in football hold what, 50,000, 60,000 people? So you're talking about shorter season, but you're talking about whereas the basketball can hold 20, you might have a football stadium hold 60, right? So they getting 3 times the fans plus the television money. Is when they came out with that first big television contract, that put football on the map. That was the end of that. They was going to make their money now because the television money, and it's legit television money because Americans love their football. They love their football, man. Do they have the most, Coach Hauser? Wow. I didn't know that. They got the most national televised games? Wow. Wow. So you know what that means. And the league either wants to see the Knicks fall flat on their face, which is likely, or they want the Knicks to succeed to make more money, which is also probable too. So, wow, man. The Knicks got the most nationally televised games. That's a fact. Oh, wow. Dang. Okay. I'm a little concerned because I can't never get the Orlando game. They want you to pay an extra premium in Florida to watch the Orlando Magic play. Do they do that in New York? Do they charge y'all more money to watch the Knicks play? Or can you watch the games on the local station in New York? When you're in New York, do you have to pay extra for an MSG channel to watch the Knicks? Or can you watch them on channel? We used to be able to watch the Knicks on channel 9, WOR TV. Do they still do that? You gotta pay? Damn. Because we used to be able to watch the Knicks on WOR channel 9. Back, when not Cassie Russell. When Clyde first started with the guy that liked to bite butts and stuff, and with the fake hair, Marv Albert and yeah, they used to be able to. Oh, you got to pay for MSGs. That's something. They just put that in Florida now. You got to pay for. I forgot the name. You got to pay for Bally Sports to get Orlando Magic games. Yeah, Marv Albert with the fake hair, biting behinds and sniffing drawers and stuff. Y'all remember that, right? Yeah. Y'all remember that? Oh, shoot. Marv Albert. Oh, man. And what was that announcer's name with the big wide nose? He was cool, too. That was back at the time. You could watch the games on Channel 9. You could watch the Nets in the ABA, and you could watch the Knicks on Channel 9, WOR TV. You remember that? You could watch the Knicks on Channel 9, man. All the Knicks games on Channel 9. So I guess now you got to get MSG to watch the Knicks, huh? Damn. In Orlando now, it used to be able to watch the Knicks on Bally Sports for free. Now you got to pay extra for Bally Sports to watch Orlando. I can't even watch a nationally televised game unless it's on. Well, no, I could watch it on. That's right. I could watch a nationally televised game here if it's NBC, ABC, or whatever, ESPN. I could watch it. But if it's not nationally televised, I can't watch it. Yeah. But Orlando, I'm not going to that game, so I want to see the Knicks play though. I'm going to Minneapolis to see the T-Wolves, and I'm going to DC to see the Wizards against the Knicks. Yep, Mike Fratello. Was he the czar? Yeah, he was the czar, wasn't he? That's what Marv Albert used to call him, the czar. Little short Mike Fratello at the Napoleon Conference. I never understood how he became a coach, but he was a good coach, though. He was a good coach. Crazy. All right, Coach Hauser, me and my baby girl are going to be at, what's the name of the restaurant? Right next to, it's next to the Capital One Center. We're going to be meeting at that restaurant. Wait a minute. Restaurant next to the Capital One Center in Washington, D.C. Clyde's. That's right, Clyde's. We're going to be meeting at Clyde's. Kyle Ramsey. That's right, J.K. Kelly. That's right, Kyle Ramsey. We're going to be meeting at Clyde's, Coach House. We're going to be at Clyde's before we go to the game. Probably 2 hours before the game, we'll meet at Clyde's. Then we'll have our dinner, chill. It's going to be cold because the game's on February 3rd. And then you can go right from Clyde's and walk into the side door of the Capital One Center, and you can get into the game. Yeah. Why is that right, Apocalypse? Oh, shoot. Okay. I'm going to have to pay. Last year was the first year I had to pay for stupid Valley Sports. But I paid for them only until the Knicks were playing Orlando. Then I ain't paid for them no more. And I got rid of them after that. Yeah, the Czar was with ATL, and he was a good coach, too. That little short dude could coach, man. I mean, he was a little tough dude. He could coach. I never heard of him before he came to the ATL. I never heard of him. I didn't see him nowhere. Maybe he was an assistant somewhere, obviously. But he coached Atlanta pretty good. Mm-hmm. Only guy Spud Webb was taller than. Spud Webb was taller than the Czar. But yeah, they putting the Knicks on national TV a lot, huh? Okay. We got to do some things then. This is a special year for our team. With what y'all telling me. So they got Yuri York, what's up? So they got more nationally televised games than everybody. They're going to have a new coach. They're going to run 10 deep. They got 10 deep. They got 12 deep. They need it. So this is a special year for us, y'all. This is it right here. I don't even know, Lloyd's brother. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. And we got Monica McButt, otherwise known as McNutt. Yes, we do. Yeah. 34. Wow, that's something else, Cherokee. And they got 34? Damn. Let me ask Google, confirm what you're saying. How many nationally televised games do the Knicks have this year? 34 nationally televised games in 25-26, according to the New York Post Rag. The New York Post Rag. What's up, Lonnie? Whoa. Boy, we're going to have something this year, y'all. Herb Williams. I think he retired a while ago, Gorilla. I think Herb Williams retired. I want to say he retired when Melo came. Herb Williams, formerly of the New York Knicks. Yeah, 18 years. Herb Williams was the associate head coach from 1981 to 1999. So he been going. So Herb Williams been going. Yeah. I actually remember him playing at Ohio State. Sad. I actually remember him playing at Ohio State. You're still recovering, Brother Lonnie? Man, you got to come back strong, bro. I'm going to need your services, my man. When we come back down there to the resort next year, I'm going to need you for security. You know how it is, bro. I'm going to need Mr. Desert Eagle for the security. Desert Eagle. Brother, I can my Desert Eagle dude. I'm going to need him for security. All right, bro. I hope sister's going good too. I hope sister's knee is good. You good? Everybody good. Yeah, now Herb Williams finished in 99. Yeah. Yes, he was, Coach Hauser. Yes, he was. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But see, the last 5 seasons, Coach, who said it? Cherokee. The last 5 seasons, we've been getting inoculated from Stephen A. Stupid. Now, let me ask you, over the last 5 seasons, how many times has Stephen A. Stupid yelled and talking about how much the Knicks were finished, right? I mean, hasn't he done it over the last 5 seasons? Stephen A. Stupid, the Knicks finished. The Knicks can't do this. The Knicks can't do that. The Knicks need to go trade everybody and go get, right? The last 5 seasons, we've been hearing Stephen A. Stupid say those things. Isn't that correct? Now, the last 5 seasons, the Knicks have went to the NBA Conference Finals. The Knicks have been second in the East, third in the East, and this fool talking all of that. That's why you got to ignore the clowns. If you want the clown, you watch BSPM or go to Barnum Bailey Circus. Go to Barnum Bailey and you can see clowns, or BSPN and you'll see clowns. But if you want to get some serious analysis, you got to stay away from BSPN because you're going to hear Stephen A. Stupid. Okay? You're going to hear Stephen A. Stupid. But, like I said, let me also give a disclaimer. If I was getting paid $10 million a year or whatever that fool getting, I might be stupid too. If he's getting paid $10 million a year to act a fool, that's it. Okay, I got you. See what I'm saying? He's getting paid $10 million a year. Exactly, Diane. Exactly. But me, I'm more of a serious Knicks fan, which means I don't like to hear the fluff. You know what I mean? I understand. I don't begrudge a man having to make his dollars. Okay, go get your money, bro. Just do your thing. But, let me excuse myself from Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, BSPN. I'll just, I'll excuse myself a little bit. Right, exactly, Coach House. Exactly. 125th Street for him. Exactly. 125th Street for him. That's right, Lonnie. It's that time, bro. It's that time. For real. It's that time, man. Hey, do they still do shows at the Apollo, though? I don't even know. I ain't been in New York like that for a long time. My wife and I were talking about that the other day. Honestly, New York's not the same no more. It's not. I'm not as excited to go down there as I used to be. I looked at the Brooklyn game like possible. I was like, should I go to the Brooklyn game this year? I'm just not as excited to go to New York as I used to be, man. I'm just not as excited to go. I just don't like the vibe no more. It's not the same vibe, man. They done messed it up. Certain people done took over, and gentrified the city, and ridiculously drove out, the real nation that's there. And that's a whole nother thing. But I'm just not as excited to go. Back when I lived there, I loved the city, man. I loved it. I couldn't, my wife had to drag me out the city. We moved to Connecticut, with treat tea and crumpets and stuff. But I loved the city. To me, there was never, in my whole life, I never even considered any city like New York City. When I moved to, my parents sent me down to Miami when I was 11 years old. I hated Miami. I hated it. It was 85 every day. Y'all would think I'd love it. I missed New York. It was nothing like New York. I love whenever we go to the city. When we went to Delancey Street, I love going to Delancey Street, man. I love walking in Midtown, even with all the triple X-rated stuff that at that time they had. I love walking down 125th Street. They used to have clothes for sale. They'd have art pictures for sale. They'd have anything you want for sale. They have the hardest hard for sale. I love that. I miss that, man. That was New York. Not like that no more. I used to take karate class at 145th Street in Lenox. Remember the 3 train used to go up to Lenox Avenue, 145th Street. That was the last stop on the number 3. I'd get off that stop and the studio was right there. You know what I mean? So I'm saying. So yeah, man, I loved New York back then. It ain't the same no more. It ain't the same. Number 3 used to only go to 145th. It used to go up Lenox Avenue, 145th. The number 2 train would go further, 8th Avenue. Number 2 train go up. I think the number 2 might even went to the Bronx. Number 2 went up and it went back into Brooklyn and all that. Number 3 train only went to 145th Street in Lenox Avenue. Yeah. Well, now it's Malcolm X Boulevard, but yeah. That's what I'm saying. I used to love that whole spot. Even if it was dangerous in the 80s, it was the crack and all that. It was stupid. It was. But the vibe was different, though. The vibe was different. The vibe was different, man. It was a different vibe back then. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like the vibe no more. It's not the same, man. It's not the same. I went to Barclays Center to see the Knicks against the Nets 2 years ago, I think it was. Man, Yeah, right. Harlem River Drive, right. My wife used to live on Avenue D. She's living on Avenue D, FDR and Avenue D. Yeah, you're right. You see, Lonnie, See, I was trying to like Lonnie. Lonnie, my brother, man. Lonnie, my ace boom charm, man. That's what I'm saying. Lonnie know. It's the Desert Eagle. He know what's up. It's my man right there. Is he getting 25 show comp? Well, see, that's why he's a clown. They're paying him a lot of money to be a clown. I hear him. Get your money, bro. Get your money. I just don't want to watch. But I guess it don't matter. Somebody watching for $25 freaking million. Somebody watching. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. BSP ain't necessarily friendly to people of Stephen A. Smith's hue. If you understand. They ain't necessarily friendly. They used to have this dude that died of cancer. And they was talking about letting him go because he used to come out with all these slang terms. He called the home run a jack, As Stuart Scott, I met him once. He was cool. In real life, just as cool as you saw him on the TV. When I met him, Stuart Scott was cool as hell, man. I was sad when he died, man. He was cool as hell. And they had a problem with how he did it because he used so much slang. He said, and when I saw him, right? You know what I said? His back was to me. And I said, cool as the other side of the pillow. And he turned around. I said, cool. I said, look at him. Cool as the other side of the pillow. And he turned around, man, shook my hand. He said, yo, what's up, man? I said, what's up? Stuart Scott was cool as hell, man. He was cool as hell. He brought the game to the creative side. He brought it to the new level. Yeah, now they trying to use it, right? Like they used to make fun of sisters with them sweet lips and them sweet hips, but now everybody wants them, right? They go to Brazil to get them. They make fun of them now. Now they go to Brazil to get it. Shoot. Yeah, Stuart Scott. But generally speaking, they do not. It's not like they not like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. Yeah, booyah. Remember that, Coach? Booyah. Cool as the other side of the pillow. And he's the one that caused me to watch hockey. He had so much joy watching hockey. I was like, this brother watching hockey? I said, all right, let me check this game out something. Stuart Scott was that dude, man. He used to call a home run a jack. Oh, man. Rest in peace. Right, Malik. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, for them to be paying Stephen A. Stupid $25 million, though, the brother's making money for him. Period. Yeah. The brother's making money for him. They ain't paying him that because they like his face. They must be making money off Stephen A. Stupid. Them ratings must be high when he's on the TV. Otherwise, they wouldn't be paying it. So get your money, bro. Get your money. Fill them pockets. Yeah. Stuart Scott was the smoothest one they had on there. And I don't think they ever had a McNutt type situation, right? The BSP ever had that? I don't think they had a McNutt type situation. They didn't have nothing like that. They didn't have no Monica McNutt, charade type situation there. I don't think they did. Did our girl? There's a girl that started there though. She don't know basketball, but she's that arm candy. Right, Hannah Stone. Hand the storm. That was the flow. That was the flow. That was it. Hand the storm, daggone it. What am I talking about? Shoot. Oh gosh, man. They ain't never had the real deal Holyfield Monty McNutt type chocolate. Or that sister that went down to New Orleans that the MSG had that came out of UConn. What was that sister name? Ooh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or Sherrod. All of that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like that. Uh-huh. Oh man. Oh man. Swing Cash. Yeah, baby. Swing Cash, Monica, and now they got Kelsey Sherrod, I think her name is. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Honestly, though, you know what they missing? Seriously, you know what they missing, though? They need a Boricua up in there. Y'all, what y'all think? They need a Boricua up in there. How you gonna be in New York with no Boricua? Come on, baby. You gotta have a Boricua up in there. Give me a Boricua, man. You with all that Boricua spice running around New York, you can't find one? Come on, man. You need a Boricua up in there. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You need a Boricua up in there, man. I'm not, how you gonna not have a Boricua up in there? Gotta have a Boricua up in there, man. Oh, Suni Lee, yeah. Honestly, I would not mind that, Coach House. But I don't know how our boy OG would handle that. Why don't they just get together and get it over with? That's what I don't understand. Why don't they just get together and get it over with? Yeah, Molly's Boricua. She not even Boricua. Molly's, what is she? She like Armenian or something. She pretty though. I ain't gonna front. Molly pretty, but it appears that they've passed Molly around. I'm just saying. It appears they've passed Molly around a little bit. But they need a legit, Perez, Jennifer Lopez, Rosie Perez, Bronx, Boricua. You know what I'm saying? Or Brooklyn, Boricua. They need some Boricua out there. How you going to be in New York and not have Boricua there, man? How you going to just have Puerto Rican night? You need a real Boricua there. There's too much out there. Joy Taylor and our girl there, Joy Taylor and Molly. Yeah, let me show you. Joy Taylor, yeah. Monica, yeah, they got passed around a little bit. Yeah, she is. But yeah, they need a Boricua. That's what they're missing, man. They need to add a Boricua to the lineup. A really sweet looking New York, legit New York Boricua. That's what they need, man. And look, it ain't like they ain't no Boricuas that walk around New York. Just go downtown any lunchtime in the summer. And you ain't got to even go to the Bronx. You ain't even got to go to Brooklyn. You could go downtown. You could go to New York downtown. You could go to Harlem. You could go anywhere in New York in the summer, and you will see real deal Holyfield Boricua. Maybe they're afraid. Maybe they're afraid if they bring the Boricua in there, she steal the show. Because she might. Especially if she speaks the King's English very well, Astoria. Oh my God, you ain't joking, Gorilla Jakes. Is it still like that? I almost got hit with an axe by somebody in Astoria over Boricua. Yeah, a brother came at me with an axe, man, over Boricua in Astoria, New York. Caused me to retire from going to Astoria, New York. I never went back. Because them Boricuas, my nose was open. I was in there, boy. And no, Yeah, I forgot about. Is it still like that out there, Gorilla? Because that was a long time ago. When they chased me out of Astoria. What year was that? 81. I want to say it was 81. I ain't been back. Never went back. Didn't even want to go through. Dude, only thing that stopped me from having that damn axe planted in the middle of my back is I happened to turn this way and the thing brushed my back. Because he was coming and my boy said, "Stop!" And I turned, I felt the wind of that thing hit my bubble coat, had a bubble coat on. He came down the bubble coat. Yeah, it was Astoria Projects. And I ain't even do nothing wrong. Honestly, I ain't do nothing wrong. Some other dude that lives out there did what they thought I did. I didn't do it. Some other dude did it. And he pointed at me. I didn't even know what was happening. He said they did it. I ain't do nothing. I was just out there trying to get with one of them Boricuas out there. And then homie came at me, man. Julio and Julio came running for me with the axe. I ain't do nothing. But I was running. And I didn't care if it was dog, if it was pit bull, or whoever the hell. I was running. I was running. They almost got me out there in Astoria. Me and my boy both. They almost got me. They almost got us. Woo! It's my boy's fault. He brought me out there, though. See, I was running with the wrong dude. Guy was always trouble. Almost got me killed. And at that time, that night, that weekend, he had to decide between the Marines or Rikers. That's what the judge gave him that choice. You can go to Rikers or you can join the Marines. So he was about to go to Paris Island. I'd like to see how that worked out. That dude was a straight gangster. And that's why we was in trouble. Coming out there with them punks. But he told me, he said, they out there, man. He said, them Boricuas are out there. I said, what? And he was not lying. He was not lying. He was not lying. I was like, yo, you was right. You was right. We was going out into the street. There was a bunch of them were met up in the street. And we was going out there. Baddies. But some other knucklehead from the projects did something stupid and then said we did it because we wasn't from there. You know how that go. Then all of a sudden I turned home. He had this damn fireman's axe. I was like, what? My ass turned into Bob Hayes and we was floating. Good thing he couldn't run fast with that axe in his hand. But there going, he was coming after us, man. Shoot. Exactly. And we was jumping over them little white fences between them houses. Man, we was gone, bro. And next thing I knew, I saw the subway and we was running up there and the door was opening as we got there. Perfect. My man was mad because we ran. We got to go back. I said, we who? Go where? I'm getting some fellas and going back. I said, you go ahead, bro. I'm done for the night. I'm going to go home safe. Shoot. And they never saw your boy in Astoria again. That was my last trip to Astoria, Queens. Never again. Yeah, that's my man. He was just determined he was going to go to Paris Island because there was either jail, it was either Rikers Island or Paris Island. He chose Paris Island. Oh gosh. So he's about to go to Paris. I ain't seen him again. I don't know if he's alive or dead. But if knowing him, if he was in the streets, he's dead. But if he's went to Paris and he went in the Marines, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Oh, hell no. Tell my father? Oh, hell no. Dude, I got arrested that same year for possession of a controlled substance. And my father, that was 1981. My father did not find out about that till 1988. That's when he found out. And the only reason he found out is because in 1988, I was graduating from Baruch College. And I had to go, and I thought about it, and I talked to a professor, and I said, I got arrested in 81 because I didn't show up for the court. I didn't show up. So I said, I got arrested for controlled substance, and I didn't. He said, they're looking for you. I said, they're looking for me? He said, they're going to be looking for you. You better go get that straightened out. So I went out there to Long Island and showed up, and it was the same judge. Yo, this is a true story. It was the same judge, okay? I told my father what happened. I said, this is what happened in 81. He's like, how come you didn't tell me? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, Pop, why didn't I tell you? What would you have done? So he goes with me to court. And the same judge. And, Long Island, I'm going to tell you, Long Island was segregated when I grew up. I don't know if it's like that anymore. Probably not. But back then, it was segregated. And you had a lot of racist judges out there, a lot of racist police. They would just hung brothers up out there. So it was the same judge, and he was one of these old white rough dudes. And he said, "Oh, Mr. So-and-so, glad you decided to come by. We got 4 warrants out for you." And I said, "Your Honor, I didn't know." "Oh, you didn't?" I didn't even know what an arraignment was. I said, "I didn't know what an arraignment was." Well, first, I showed up there and I talked to the prosecutor. I had on a suit. I was about to graduate with my bachelor's of business administration. I had already worked on Wall Street. I was tight. And so I showed up. The prosecutor looked at me and he said, "Obviously, you're not the same guy as you were in 1981. I said, no, everything has changed. I've, turned around now. And he said, "Look, I can see that." He said, "This is the prosecutor." He said, "I'm going to make this like a parking ticket. It's going to go away. You done turned your life around. You saving us time and money. Just live your life." He said, I'm reducing the charges, and this is going to be like a parking ticket. It's going to go away. I'm going to have it expunged. Don't worry about it." I was like, "Oh, yeah. So I sat there with my dad, right? Me and Pop sitting there, and he heard the dude. I heard the dude. So it came my turn to stand up, and the judge said, "Oh, you decided to show up for the court. We know we got 4 warrants out for you." And I said, "I did not know, Your Honor. I didn't know." Why you disrespect my court and didn't show up? What, you think you bigger than my court? And I said, "No, sir. I just didn't know what an arraignment was." "Oh, you didn't know what an arraignment was?" "Oh," and he's like, "Oh, how much money you got?" I said, and so as he said that, the prosecutor said, "Your Honor, we are dropping these charges." He said, "No, you're not." That's what he said. He said, "No, he said, Your Honor, the state is satisfied." He said, "I don't care. How much money you got, sir?" He said, "Bailiff, arrest him and his father." He said, "Who's that?" He said, "That's my father." He said, "Arrest both of them." He said, "How much money you got?" I said, "I got $50. He said, "Bail is set at $50. The prosecutor left his desk. I'm not lying. Walked up to behind. He didn't even step in front of the court, the judge. He walked behind it. Said, "Let me talk to you." He said, "Get the hell out of here and go back to your desk. I'm not dropping." So he said, "Bail is set at $50. So I'll never forget that dude, man. I think his name was Ulig. Ulig. Oh my God, man. So I paid the $50 and he set another court date for me to come back. And I did. And that court, they did exactly what the prosecutor said they were going to do. The former court, they turned it into a parking ticket type situation and dropped the whole thing. That's when my father found out about 1981. And the crazy thing is, when I got arrested that night, I had just finished seeing my father. I hadn't seen my father in a while. And he asked to see me, and we went and had dinner, him, me, and my brother. And after we left him, we got busted. Oh, man. Man. That was something else, man. And then I went and got a job at the bank 3 months later, and they asked on the application, "Have you ever been convicted of a crime?" And the prosecutor specifically told me, if they asked that question, you could say no. They said, but if they ask you if you've ever been arrested, you have to say yes, because you've been arrested. And I said, okay. So when I went to apply at the bank, they said, "Have you ever been convicted of a crime?" And I said, no. So I'm working at the bank. They took my fingerprints. And about 2 months later, I get a call from HR. And I walk into HR and they looking at me like I done stole something. And they said, "How come you didn't tell us you were convicted of marijuana possession?" I said, "Because I wasn't convicted of marijuana." So they said, "Well, your fingerprints came back from Washington, D.C. saying you was arrested." I said, "I was arrested. You didn't ask me if I was arrested. You asked me if I was convicted. I wasn't convicted." They said, "How we know you're not lying?" I said, "I can go to the court and get the judge's ruling." They said, "You have," and it was Friday. They said, "You have until Monday to go get that transcript." So I called the court that Friday. And they said, "Yes, you can come get it. We'll have it ready for you Monday." So I went Monday. I'm driving from Connecticut to Long Island to get this daggone transcript. 8-inch snowstorm. I'm telling y'all, 8-inch snowstorm that Monday. And I still got there. And I got to that daggone court and I got that transcript and I brought it back. What it was is New York takes a long time to process stuff. So when I went to the court and got my record cleared, it was May of 1988. I got hired by the bank in August. The records didn't come back to my house until January of 89. So when the bank took my prints, it was still out there. Oh, man. Y'all don't know. I've been in, man, please. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Queensbridge ain't seen me. That was the worst year. 81 was the worst year of my life without question. It was my own fault. It wasn't nobody's fault but mine. It could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. 81 was a terrible year for me. 81, that's terrible. I was a bad boy. Bad boy. And it cost me. But thank the Most High, he cleaned it up for me. And I learned my lesson and went on with life, man. Oh, man. Learned my lesson and went on with life. It was just my own fault. I did some stupid stuff that year. I was 19 and I did some dumbass stuff. And I learned my lesson now. You know, I did. But it could have been a lot worse. Man. I could have been in the pen somewhere. It could have been a lot worse. I did stuff like that. So I know I was 19. I was 19 in 81. So that year I was 19. School year started 80. That was in college. I dropped out of college the end of 80. I was 19. But that was rough, man. And what caused me to not know how serious it was, because right after that, I would say like I was on the subway. My mother left us with no money and moved to California, left us her apartment. I'm 19, my brother's 16. We ain't had no job and have no money. She just gone, right? So we scraping $5 together to walk up to like 100. Up to Sugar Hill had this little hole in the wall Chinese place where you could get a whole chicken for $5. We would walk. We wouldn't even have to put the money in, the 50 cents for the subway token. We'd walk from 96th Street to 140 something to get that chicken. And then walk back. That's how it was. I was trying to hot coats and everything to try to get some money. So finally one day I'm on the subway and I run into this girl I knew. And she said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to get this job." And she's like, "Oh, I can help you." I said, "What?" And she gave me the name of this. I didn't even know nothing about a temp agency. She wrote the number on. I was looking for her number, but then I was like, "No, I need to get this job." And she wrote the number on my hand. And I got home, called it, and I worked in that temp agency. They sent me to Chase Manhattan Bank. And I was at Chase Manhattan Bank for about 3 months, and they offered me a job. And then my prints came back, and they kept me. The head of HR was one of us. And he said, what happened? And I told him, and I said, I'm now trying to get this straight. He said, "Don't worry about it." So I didn't think it was that serious because Chase would have fired me. They didn't. And I stayed at Chase for 3 years. Stayed there for 3 years, man. I loved it there. So there was no problem. That's why when later on, when that law professor said, "Oh, they looking for me," I said, "Looking for me?" I was at Chase. They didn't say nothing about it. They said, "I don't know." He said, "I don't know nothing about Chase, but you better go out there and get that straightened out." Good thing I did. Yeah. So all that changed. That's when my dad found out. It was 1988. It happened in 81. It was 7 years. That's when my dad found out. I'm glad I can look back and laugh now because I wasn't laughing then. It was not funny at all. But I can laugh now, man. I'm telling you, shoot. There was some close. I just told you about one close call. There were several close calls that year where I could have been in the pen. For real. I could have been locked up. And I got over. And I learned my lesson, though. When Chase hired me, I saw it. I said, this is a new start. I'm gonna start off new. And 81 to 83 was the best years I ever had. I had a good time. Girls, I had my apartment. My mother left. I was able to hang with it. And everything was going good, baby. I was good. Then in 84, I met this Boricua. Been with her 41 years now. 84, man. I was with Chase to 83, to 84. I meet this Boricua, and that life is another life, man. Yeah, I graduated high school, 79. I was out in the street running stupid for 2 years. Really, I was running stupid from 16. When I woke up, when I woke up from that cloud, I was 21. And I realized I had wasted 5 years, and I didn't even know where the 5 years went. There's this movie about remember that ball player that was like, he's all world and he never made it. He was one of the great. Kareem said he was the greatest ball player he ever saw. He come from Harlem. Y'all remember him? Oh man, the GOAT. Remember the GOAT? Earl Manigault. Earl Manigault got hooked up in heroin, and he was getting arrested. And his mother saw him, and his mother said, "What happened to you?" And he said, I only been out a year, Mama. He said, no, it's been 5 years. And he didn't even realize 5 years went by. That's what happened to me. I know exactly how I feel, because I woke up one day and I was 21, and I said, what happened to the last 5 years? I didn't even know, y'all. I'm telling you. It was, I didn't even know. So I was a straight knucklehead. Why do you think I know what a knucklehead is? Nice. You know how they say it takes one to know one. I was a straight knucklehead. I didn't have to be either. That was the sad thing. It ain't like my parents were starving and, they were struggling. It ain't like that. I was just being stupid. That's all. Just straight stupid. Running the streets with the wrong dudes, getting in the wrong stuff. Straight stupid, man. Straight stupid. There are reasons for it. And I look back now and I understand it. I understand why I did. I was a depressed young man. And that's why I understand a lot of youth, especially Black youth, are depressed. Period. Depressed. There's trauma that has happened that caused us to be severely depressed. With the way society is acting with us and everything, it just makes us more angry. I totally get it because I was there. I know exactly what it is. I was there. And I also understand when you get chances, second chances, take advantage. When I got that job at Chase, I was getting $5 an hour. And I thought I hit lotto. That's how crazy. I was getting $5 an hour and I thought I hit lotto, man. I was like, dang, I done got rich now. I can make it now. That's how I felt. And I took advantage of that. Now, we're not catching it, Andrew. It's going to the east coast of Florida and apparently going north. It's going to hit the Bahamas, though. It's going to hit the Bahamas. But we good. I think where I'm at in Central Florida, we good. We good. But I did buy a generator this year. I got that mess ready for Freddie. I got my generator ready. Because this is going to be a heavy hurricane season down here. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be devastating this year. So we ready. I done already paid up my homeowner's insurance. I done paid up my flood insurance, my hurricane insurance. We ready. You ready for Fred? Nah, man. I worked in when I was at Chase, I worked in foreign exchange. It was a cool ass job too. I worked in foreign exchange, and we were reconciling foreign accounts with US dollars. That's what we was doing. Yeah, we were reconciling foreign accounts with US dollars. They probably don't even do, everything is automated now. Back then it wasn't automated. Everything was done manually. And Chase was a large behind bank. So so they needed people to do that. That's what I did. I first did it first shift, and then I went third shift. And that's when it really was fun. I would come in at 5 o'clock and finish at like 3 a.m. And they would give us overtime, and they give us a voucher to catch a cab home at 3 or 4 in the morning. And so every week I get a little overtime check plus the check. Man, please. I was living the life of Riley. I was 20 years old, 19 years old. I was living the life of Riley, man. No doubt. My rent was $280 a month in the west side, in the upper west side, $280 a month, man. I was living nice, y'all. It went from outhouse to penthouse type for me. That's the way I felt about it. I wasn't making, but I felt like that. I felt like that. For real. Yep. Yeah, and I knew I had gotten a second chance, man. I knew where it could have been. For real, I did. No doubt. I did know that. I knew it could have been a lot different. Just a couple of smalls, literally 1 minute, one night, things like that. Changed stuff, man. Telling you. I was committing break-ins. I was moving big numbers of African Black and Sesame, I was doing that kind of stuff, yo. When they caught me, I only had like 4 joints on me, which was how laughable that was. It wasn't like they caught me with, a pound of stuff. They caught me with like 4 joints. But, the reason they caught me, because me and my brother was puffing on the Long Island Railroad. We were on the Long Island Railroad. See, back at that time, the subways, I don't know what the subways are like now. Before they had the new subways, the old subways, y'all remember the old subways, graffiti everywhere. And the baddest dudes always sat in the last car, which I always thought I was one of them dudes. So I sat in the last car and we would just puff weed in the last car. The last car, especially after midnight, last car was nothing but a puff of smoke, girl. Y'all, if you remember, you remember. But the last car was just a puff of smoke, right? So we was on Long Island Railroad. My brother said, yo, spark it up. And I was like, man, let's wait till we get to the city, man. He said, no, spark it up. So I gave it to him. He did it. And then he gave it to me. I didn't want it. So some dude sat next to me and said, you take it. That was a cop. You're under arrest. That was a cop. And that was so ironic, man. The stuff I have been dealing with to get busted over that was, But it was a blessing because it could have been a lot worse. I had pounds. I had pounds, y'all. And, it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. A lot worse, man. That was a tough year. Definitely a tough year. Definitely a tough year. So, yeah, your boy could have been a whole different life. That's why I know there's a Most High, because I know what he did for me. That's no doubt. No doubt. Life could have been a lot different. A lot different, man. Yeah, for real, Andrew Abraham. I am excited for if the only thing, if they still had Tom Thibodeau, if they didn't get Jordan Clarkson or Gershon Yabusele, if the only thing coming into this year they had was a healthy Mitchell Robinson, I'd still be really excited. I'd still be really excited about this team because I know that if Mitch Rob is healthy, the league better hope he sprained an ankle or something. Because if he's healthy, man, punch that ticket. Be going. Punch that ticket. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I always sat in the last car. Thought I was bad. Could have got killed. Yeah, I did, Andrew. I did, man. I saw it. The way he was moving, I was like, this dude is ready. He looks slim. And that's the big thing. It wasn't, see, when I saw Karl-Anthony Towns and he looked slim. Okay, he's slim, but can he play defense? With Mitchell Robinson, all we want is him to play defense, right? And rebound offensively. And to see him in shape, I was like, that's a whole different thing, baby. That's a whole different ball game right there. Mitch Rob, it's a whole different game, baby. It's a whole different one. That's all I'm going to say. Nah, man, he's moving. That's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see how he moves, how he covers ground. And on that short video, I saw everything I needed. He is moving very well, covering ground very well. The dunk didn't mean anything, but how he's moving across the floor. Oh, that's not true, 718. Stop, man. Please don't do that. Don't do that. If he's healthy, you'll see that. That's his game. 718. How you gonna say that's his game? That's his game. Listen, how many of y'all remember the Celtics this past spring? Did not Mitch Rob on one play cover the whole court? Do y'all remember that? I don't know. Did you remember that night? He covered the whole floor, every player, and end up taking the ball. Who was it? Did he take it from? Who he took it from? Was it Brown? End up taking the ball. He covered the whole floor in that one play. Maybe you don't remember that. That's what a healthy Mitch Rob looks like. That's what a healthy Mitch Rob looks like. How many of y'all remember when he fell under the basket, got up off the floor, and blocked the shot at the 3-point line? Y'all remember? I remember that. Stuff like that sticks in my mind. Because when I see stuff like that, that's championship type play. See? When he runs and covers everybody on the floor in one play, and then one of their best forwards, he takes the ball from him. Now, yeah, we're not talking about dribbling to his legs. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, my only comment was how he is moving. I don't care about the one leg push shot or any of that crap. I'm talking about how he is moving. That's his game. Moving, covering ground, using his length. Yeah, nah. That's right, Andrew Haven. You remember he had like 8 or 9 blocks. It was crazy. Nah, man. I don't need him to be switching between his legs, shooting short jump. I don't need him to do that. I need him, if he's going to improve anything. Thank you, Lonnie. If he's going to improve anything, let it be the free throws. Now, Mitch Rob healthy and hitting 70% of his free throws, they're going to give us that daggone chip right now. Just give it to us. Shoot. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, Jaylen Brown was hating, but that's how it happened when you're behind is sore. Y'all remember Embiid, we are the better team. Okay. We will win the series. We are the better team. Okay. Mitch Rob he grabbing Mitch Rob by the leg, putting him out for the whole summer. Come on, man. You talking nice. Come on, man. You got it. Come on, baby. A healthy Mitch Rob? Are you crazy? The way he's moving? That's all I needed to see. I didn't care about the dunk. I didn't care about what he do, like a float or something. I was just watching his legs. How is he moving? Nah. See, you asked him to do what he's never done. That's what I'm saying. Some Knicks fans do that. Why are you asking him to do what he's never done? He's never been that guy. He's always been a rim protecting defensive 5. He's never been an offensive guy. Why are you trying to get disappointed and expect things that he's never done? I could see if he used to do it and didn't do it. He never does that. That's just what I'm saying. Please appreciate the man for what he is. Don't appreciate him for what he's not. As a rule, man is a fool. When it is hot, he wants it cool. When it is cool, he wants it hot. Always wanting what is not. Appreciate the man for what he is and what he brings to the table. What I remember is Mitch Rob single-handedly destroying the Philadelphia 76ers. Do you remember that? I remember him single-handedly making Cleveland, their front line, look like little boys. You remember that? He made their front line, Jared Allen, he made him look like a little boy. Y'all remember that? That's right. Made them look like little kids that was getting their lunch took. That's all I need to see. I don't need to see no damn offensive post-game, whatever. I just need to see him do that. That's all I need. Can he do that? And I'm telling you, the way he was moving in that video, Yeah, I seen him, Lonnie. I ain't expecting to break out with that. Y'all remember it was last year or the year before he was shooting threes and hitting them? He was doing crossovers and all that. That's just for show. Whatever. I want to see him cover all them guys on the floor like he did against the Celtics. I want to see him make these dudes intimidated, look like little boys. And the thing that was bothering me, see, now you got me going. People was talking about trading Mitch for damn, Walker Kessler. What the hell? What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Walker Kessler, he made that boy look like Richie Cunningham. I mean, for real. Or Valanciunas, dude with 2 feet that weigh 100 pounds each. Hell no. I'm talking about a dude that could move from cover to court, go from the middle of the floor to the three-point line and back again. He can cover your point guard. He can cover your five and everybody in between. That's Mitch Robinson. And look, defense wins championships. See, you want to win a chip, you have to get stops. Now, let me ask you all a question. When Tibbs needed a stop, it was like a timeout, and the other team was going to get the ball, and the Knicks needed to have a stop. What was the team he put out there? Was it Brunson? Was it Cat? When he needed to have a stop, who did he put out there? It was Mitch, OG, McCall, Deuce, and Josh. That's exactly who he put out. That was his unit. I'm getting a stop. Y'all are not scoring. That was that unit. Okay? That was that unit. Mitch, OG, McCall, Hart, and Deuce. That was the unit. Y'all ain't scoring this time. The last play of the 2 games the Knicks won where McCall locked up Brown. Deuce was out there doing business. Mitch Rob caused the ball to be swung over there because he intimidated them. See, that's what I'm saying. Nice 718. You got these are the things we're talking about, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And now you got a guy. I'm really high on Ariel Hukporti for the same reasons. Only thing I don't know about Ariel Hukporti, and I hope I'm wrong, I want him to be available. Please don't be an injury-prone dude. Don't be another Nerlens Noel. Please. Be available. That's all I'm asking. Be available, Mr. Hukporti, because if he is, when you got him and Mitchell Robinson, it is a lock, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, it's a lock. It's a lock. And I don't get, like, Jordan Clarkson ain't no defender now, but you put him out there with Deuce, Hart, right? Hukporti. You put him out there with them guys. And of course, Yabusele. It's lockdown time. Mitch Mobb Deep is back. It's lockdown time. They're gonna be what? Shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. They're gonna be shook. I'm trying to tell you, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's that crunching Mike Ditka type defense. That's what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying, man. So I'm excited, man. Y'all can tell. I am excited. When I saw that video, I don't usually get excited about these videos. I've learned not to. But when I just watched Mitchell Robinson move, some things you just watch, you just need a little thing. With a 5, it's his motor. That's why, like, everybody was hyping about Zach Edey, whatever, Edey. I wasn't as high on him like that because I needed to see, and I told you, I need to see his motor. Yes, 7'5" and 7'6" wingspan or whatever. But if he can't run up and down the floor, that don't matter, right? I want to see motor. That when I'm looking for in the 5, motor. I need to see that. And I saw it. And I was like, Mitch Robbins, got it now. Shoot. Yeah, and it's a contract. Yeah, President Boss. Exactly. And that's why he's not going to get no extension until May or June, depending on how the Knicks do. But he ain't getting no extension right away. They're going to wait, as they should. Can you stay healthy, sir? Can you stay healthy? That's what they asked. Can you stay healthy, sir? Well, that's what I'm saying, Lon. That's all I'm saying. Everybody was hyping about more. And when Chet first came out, same thing. And I was like, he a little light in the ass. Remember I told you he a little light in the ass? And he played 50 games the first year. And the second year, he played more. He played like 70-something games. But they limited his minutes. Smart. They're going to Sam Presti and them. Damn. Exactly, Prezi. Exactly. That's a good way of putting it. We always trying to trade Mitchell Robinson for one of his sons. Exactly. We always trying to trade him for somebody he done took their lunch already. Remember they were trying to trade him for Ayton when Ayton was on Phoenix And all he did was go down there and destroy Ayton. That's all he did. Y'all, it's just like my man KRS-One used to say. You must learn. You must learn. Come on, y'all. You must learn. Shoot. Oh, Chet is nice. But the key, if Chet played for Tibbs, he'd be in street clothes a lot. But he wasn't playing for Diagono and Sam Presti, and they smart how they handled him. Very smart. Very smart. So, yeah. Yeah, Jared Allen, that's right. Ayton couldn't guard nothing, man. I mean, he's big. He got athletic talent, but he must be lazy or something because his teams don't do nothing. That's why he's on the Lakers now. And they beg and they hoping he could show up. Maybe he does. LeBron and them hoping. Luka don't really need much to win, though. Luka don't need much to win. Luka's that kind of all-world talent. I know, Prezi, I know. Making me feel bad, man. I know, third rail is dead. I got to do something, man. I got to get together with my man. We got to make it simple. We trying to make it too fancy. That's why. Yeah. Robert Williams, another dude. Where did he come out of? Texas Tech? I thought he came out of Texas, but it was Texas Tech, somebody told me. Anyway, he's a shot blocking fool, too. He just can't stay healthy either. That's the problem. They got a Chinese dude in Portland that looked pretty good. I mean, offensively. I don't know what he's doing defensively, but offensively, he looked pretty good. That Chinese dude they got on Portland. We're going to have to see what happened there, but I think Portland at least they got a guy that can run some offense. Yeah. You right, Malik. I ain't friend. You right. Y'all right. I can't argue with y'all, man. I can't. I should have been did it, man. I'm lazy, I'm just lazy, man. And now that I'm retired, I work out every day, but I got lazier with these other stuff. I do got to get on. They got Donovan Clingan. Oh, he's a pretty good player. They got Donovan Clingan. Yeah, he's a pretty good dude, man. I think he can ball. What's that Chinese dude name? Is it Reith? The Chinese dude? I think it's Reith. They still got DeAndre Ayton, and BSPN don't know what the hell they do. How you got DeAndre Ayton still on the roster? Let's look at basketball references. Some people, what are they doing? How are they going to still have DeAndre Ayton on the roster? Come on, man. Catch up with the rest of life. That's what I'm saying. Let me see here. Yang Hansen. That's his name. Yang Hansen. Boy, 20 years old. I like his skills, man. Yang Hansen. And they got Donovan Klingon or whatever. Exactly, Lion. Exactly. Yeah, Sharp, too. Yo, don't sleep on Portland, man. Let me see. Portland, let me see. They got Chris Murray. He's all right. He's not his brother, but he's not bad. But they got Scoot. They got Shaden Sharp. Young boys that could ball. Danny Abdiva. Young boys that could ball, man. Dame is back. And he's going to play a less role. Now they got Giroux. They still got Robert Williams. Is he hurt still? They got Jeremy Grant still. They got a good defensive unit. Matisse Thybulle can play some defense. And then you got the boy Yang. So don't sleep on Portland. Don't sleep on them, man. Don't sleep on Portland. They might be better than people think. We're going to see. They might surprise some folks. I always liked Scoot Henderson. I thought he was all that when he was in the G League. I still like him. I just think he's slower to develop than people expect, even myself. But I'm not going to give up on Scoot. I think Scoot is going to be that dude. Andrew Abraham is asking, do I think Yabu is a bigger version of Josh Hart? I don't know, because I ain't seen enough of him. What I saw when we played against him last year was that, he's hungry. He definitely is hungry. He plays the game like he's hungry. He can shoot the ball a little bit. He can rebound, and he can play defense. I don't know if I want to compare him to Hart yet, but let's see. I want to give him a shot. Let's see what he does. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Not exactly, Lonnie. Exactly. So yeah, Yang Henson got some offensive game. He's slick. He got some offensive game. I don't know what he's looking like on the defensive end. He's 7'1", but I still don't know. They might play him at forward, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, exactly, President. If you listen to the people that's on crack on X, they'll tell you that they're acting like a trade is imminent, right? The Knicks have offered. Oh God, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Uh, yeah, and can Jordan Clark? Well, I'm going to give Jordan Clarkson a lot of rope. New team, new city, new coach, new offense. I'm going to give him a lot of rope. I'm not going to expect a lot from him to start the season. If he comes out blazing, good. But I'm not going to be tripping like people was tripping on McCall last year. McCall had a bad stretch and people was tripping. Why we give him 5 picks for him? I mean, damn, man. Come on, yo. You at least let him get to 40 games first? So I ain't going to trip. And you know and I know, if he don't start off fast, people on X, all of them people that's smoking some hashish or something and drinking that Mad Dog 2020 going to be tripping on our boy Jordan Clarkson. But come playoff time, one thing I will guarantee you, when it's time for the playoffs, you're going to be glad you got him on your team. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to be glad you got him on your team. How he starts, I don't know. How long it takes him to get in the flow, I don't know. I'm going to give him some time, though. But that Filipino, you watch him. Come playoff time, he going to do business. That's like I told y'all last year. Come playoff time, you're going to be glad you had Mikal Bridges on your team. Didn't I say that? And is it true? Come playoff time, I said, y'all tripping about his fadeaway and how weak he is and he don't get to the line enough. And I'm telling y'all, wait till the playoffs. You're going to be glad you got Mikal Bridges on your team. Are you? You see what he did? Well, I'm going to tell you the same thing about Jordan Clarkson. Come playoff time. Now, he may start fast. He may start slow. I don't know. But come playoff time, you're going to be glad you have that Filipino on your team. That's all I'm going to say. That country boy Filipino going to kill him. I'm trying to tell y'all. He's in the order of Sexton. That country boy look. This way he remind me. Sexton's a wild-ass country boy. Clarkson's like that, too, in my view. He's a wild-ass country boy from the Philippines. The Philippines got country boys, too, you know. Lots of country boys in the Philippines. And so Clarkson's like that. Watch out. The boy going to do business, man. Yeah. Second year McCall is going to be a problem. Yes, he is. I know. Lonnie. Lonnie, they like the 1911 telling y'all, just calm that mess down, right? 1911. Calm it down. Desert Eagle say, calm it down. Yo, me and Amanda Prakash, we had a ball at the range today. We were shooting 44s and 357 Magnums. I didn't even bring my 9mm today. I just bought 44 and 357 Magnums, man. Yo, you know these dudes was thinking about robbing me the other day? I ain't tell you. I couldn't believe it. They was thinking about robbing me the other day, man. And then they realized there were 44 reasons for them to think twice about that. And they were wise, and they changed their mind. I thought that was a wise move. They was thinking about robbing me, man, down here in Florida. I always keeps 44s in the middle console. I keeps a loaded 44 in the middle console. Because in Florida, you got to conceal your weapon in the car. You can't carry it. You can't hurt it. You can't even put it under your front mat. You got to conceal it in the car. So the glove box or the middle console. So they pulled up on me, man. And I lifted up the middle console. And if I lift it up, you know something's there. 44 reasons. And I just laid it on the seat. When they saw that, they was gone. I was like, good for y'all. Because I don't feel like getting bullets in my car anyway. I mean, I said, and I ain't do nothing to these fools. I just drove by. They must have looked at me and saw the gray hair and decided, oh, we're going to get us a mark. You going to get a mark, all right? Yeah, you was. Yeah, I lifted up the middle console and I put that baby up, put it right there. It's a damn cannon, and it's locked and loaded. 44 specials in there, less recoil on the 44 special. That what Clint taught me. So I said, okay. When they saw that, they was gone. I said, yeah, you did the right thing. You think I'm playing with y'all? I ain't. Nope, not down here in Florida. Florida's crazy, man. Shoot, Florida's crazy. It really is. Florida out of this world crazy, man. Shoot. Anyway. Yo, they got the worst. The gangsters down here, the reason they don't think. They just act. They stupid. They really just get stupid. Stupid. The gangsters down here. Like, stupid. Stuff that you're going to go to jail for 25 years. They still do it. And they know they're going to jail for 25 years. Maybe they want to. I don't know. Stupid. But anyway. Oh, Underground say back to Knicks talk. All right, crypto. All right. I was just driving, minding my business, man. That's all I was doing. Minding my business. Wasn't talking to nobody. Wasn't cutting nobody off. I don't know why they decided to watch me. Memphis, Houston, Guilford, Houston, Florida. It's here too. My son, they was trying to do that to my boy, and he had something for him too. I don't know, but he was coming from a casino. He came down to visit my cousins, and my son came, and they went to a casino over there out there toward Tampa. On their way back, it was like 2 a.m. They stopped at a gas station, and dudes rolled up on them. That was a bad move. They changed their mind. And I was like, why you went to a gas? He said, we was hungry and I had to get gas. I said, 2 a.m. in Florida? Are you crazy? But my son, he's a police officer, like a real deal, and he stays strapped, man. He stays strapped. That's the wrong dude. My cousin said, I was glad he was here, boy, because they wasn't gonna mess with him like that. I said, no, they wasn't either. No, they wasn't. Not only that, he weighed like 275. No, he wasn't. Crypto. I know you want to talk about the Knicks, and I do too. But what big hole are you talking about? On what team Hartenstein left some big hole out? I'm not catching that. That sounds like talk from somebody that does clickbait. Hartenstein ain't left no big hole no way. Wait, I'm just trying to understand. What big hole are you talking about? Who's going to fill Hartenstein's hole? I'm just wondering, what is he talking about? The Knicks have a big hole? Where? Let me just ask y'all a general question. Let me just ask y'all. Guilford, what you think? Are the Knicks stacked this year? Are the New York Knicks, can you consider them a stacked squad this year? Are they stacked? What do y'all think? Are the Knicks a stack? So what the hell are you talking about a hole? They lost their toughness. Man, stop. Will you please stop with Wild Irish Rose, man? Stop drinking that stuff. Stop messing around with old English. Stop it. What hole? Ain't no damn hole. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you where the only hole is, but I ain't going to say it. I think the Stevenson might still be here. Hole? Oh, you never heard of Mitchell Robinson? You never heard of Karl-Anthony Towns? You never heard of Ariel Hooporti? Did you realize they Goshan Yubusele? What hole are you talking about? Talking about the 5. If he's talking about Hartenstein, he must be talking about the 5. Yeah, I was going to say something, Andrew. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it alone. He's trying to tempt me. He was trying to tempt me, Andrew. He was. Oh, so they lost in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. So there's a hole. And how many games did it take for the Knicks to lose to the Pacers? How many games was that, y'all? How many games? Was it 4-1? Did they sweep the Knicks? I mean, how did that go? How many games was it? It was 6 games. So there's a huge hole because they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 games. Oh, I hear you, Crypto. So you need to make major changes because you lost in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That is stupid. That is New York Knicks 2006 stupid. Ugh. Will you please stop? Just stop. Thank you, Mr. William. Exactly. Mr. William, he brings up a good point. Perhaps Crypto don't remember that we played Detroit in the first round last year. We don't need nobody to feel no damn toughness, Crypto. Damn, what's wrong with you, man? What, you high? What's wrong with you, man? Did you have wine or something? We tough. The Knicks are tough. What's wrong with you, man? Tough what? Need tough what? Get the hell out of here. Hartenstein been gone a year, bro. Stop it. We ain't lost shit. See? Well, I need to give some of y'all power to hit to flip the script on that third rail. I need to give somebody power to flip the script on that third rail. I can't be the only one, but somebody. I have in my Bible studies. I got a couple people with that authority to flip the scripts on the third rail, but I don't have none of y'all yet. I'm gonna have to grab somebody. Somebody gonna have to get because toughness. They lost toughness. Dude, come on, man. Stop looking at BSPN and NBA Central and Brian Windbag. Please stop. Because you're coming in here with diluted mess. The Knicks, let me just say this. Do you realize that the Detroit Pistons are one of the toughest teams in the whole league? And that the Knicks beat them in 6 games? Do you realize if the Knicks didn't play them, whoever they played would have probably lost? The Knicks are one of the toughest physical basketball teams in the league. They are so tough that Karl-Anthony Towns don't get called for no fouls when he's getting beat up on every play. And then offensively, they are so tough that he gets called for offensive fouls. What the hell do I give a crap about what Hartenstein did for Oklahoma City? We in New York, bro. What the hell we care about Oklahoma City? We in New York. Oh, wait. Maybe you're confused. Oh, my God. You talk like somebody that spent too much time on X. No, you do. You talk like somebody that spent too much damn time on X. My suggestion is leave X alone. Just leave it. It always kills me. Every once in a while, I get somebody that takes Brian Windbag or NBA Central or who else is out there? Which one of these other knuckleheads? And they take it seriously, as if these guys really know what they're talking about. And they believe these rumors. It's like, how many rumors do they have to screw you with before you realize they're screwing you? Andrew Abraham, I'm agreeing with you on that. I really am. I'm trying to. We've had such a pleasant afternoon. I'm trying to keep it so. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it pleasant. Trying my best. Well, iHeart was tough. He's a tough cat. He really is. He's a roughneck. But don't act like we missing something because we ain't got him. Yeah. You shitting all over a cat and Mitra. Is Josh Hart tough? Let me ask you. Is Josh Hart tough? Is he a tough player? How about that? Is Jalen Brunson tough? Is Jalen Brunson tough? Is Yabusele tough? Wait, Deuce must be a weakling. Deuce ain't tough, right? Deuce ain't tough. Huh? He don't bring no toughness to the floor, does he? Deuce McBride, what you think? Does he bring toughness to the floor? Come on, man. Y'all got to stop, man. Oh, shoot, we forgot about grown-ass man energy. How we going to... And homie talking about we lost Hartenstein, so we lost toughness. Oh, you're a Knicks fan, but the Knicks weren't tough enough for a player. You know what? You a Knicks fan? You a third rail motherfucker. I'm a Knicks fan. You know, damn Knicks fan. You're the part of the body that's called the anal cavity. You're part of the body called the anal cavity. Everybody has, the human body has ears, nose, eyes, mouth, and they got an anal cavity. You are the winner of the Anal Cavity of the Day award. He still ain't caught the memo, Coach Hauser, though. He's still, exactly, Malik Sabaz. We have a winner. Exactly. Oh, God, man. And then kept going. Oh, you ain't missed nothing. You just, if you're smelling the essence of an odor, Peter White, he just left the room. There was somebody didn't wipe their behind and came in with duty in his pants and smelling up the room. And we had to take action. It was indecent. And we decided as a group to take action. Indecent it was. You know what I like, though? I like that a whole bunch of y'all totally get the third rail action. I totally get the third rail. I love that a whole bunch of y'all totally understand the third rail. That's what I like. I like that. I like that. I think that's like one of the highlights of being a content creator is understanding you're with your audience and you are on the same page with regard to certain things. Like we totally understand that dude had jumped the turnstile. He was leaning too far over looking for the train to come. And then he decided to jump on the tracks and got real crazy and hugged the third rail. And had the nerve by calling himself the Knicks fan to act like he was sane. No, he was insane. Oh my gosh. Yes, I must get the third rail t-shirt. Exactly, Coach Hauser. Exactly, man. I know you right, man. You're right. You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Just like they said in The Sopranos, when you're right, you're right. You're right. Exactly. What's up, Craig McQueen? We having fun today. Talking a little Knicks, talking about life, talking about second chances. We had some fun today. We really are having some fun today. But I will tell you, Hartenstein's going to be available next summer. And you know what? The Knicks better come correct. It's right, talking about Boricuas. Me and Imam Prakash went to a restaurant today. Ooh, and this Boricua came and served us today. They could have put her on MSG. For real. They could have put her on MSG. And I said, are you Boricua? And she said, yeah. And then my man who's Dominican, I said, you got to excuse him. He's Dominican. Nah, just joking. So then we started laughing. And he said, how you know she was a Boricua? I said, you see how she served us? I said, if we was in her house, all this stuff we ordered, she could make it. And she said, yeah, I know. And she asked if you was okay, if you had enough. That's Boricua, man. That's Boricua right there. That's what I'm saying. Nah, but that's a different, that's like, okay, what's better? Apples or oranges? You know, McNutt is McNutt, right? Boricua is Boricua, right? What's better? Apples or oranges? You know what I'm saying? You know, you're still going to get sweet fruit either way, right? Sweet fruit either way. That's all I'm saying. That's the thing about the female. She is a work of art. The Most High made a work of art right there. Sunni, that's a different flavor altogether. That's another, it's like Baskin Robbins, except there's more than 21. You know what I'm saying? It's more than 21. That's all I'm saying. It's, and don't get it twisted now. My wife has to keep me off her. She has to keep me, that's enough. I told her, I said, you messed me up, man. I can't see nothing but Boricua now. You done messed me up. Shoot. I told her, I said that to her today. I said, you my tree of life. And she said, how am I a tree of life? I said, as long as I have access to you, I live. If you was to die, I would die. Because as long as I have access to you, you are my tree of life. If I don't have access to you no more, I start to die. And that's the truth about it. And she just, man, that caused her to melt. See, 41 years, I still got it. That's what I'm saying. I still got it. That's what I'm saying. Anna Hathaway. No, he's not. No, he's not. He really not. That was just media. There's no way he's doing that. Please don't do that, OG. Don't do it. Don't do it. I have to say, it's just me. I think Anna Hathaway homely as hell. It's just me. See, in the movies, they can put all kind of camera angles and light and makeup, make people look better than they really look. When she's sitting there on the side of the Knicks games, I'll be like, oh, nah. I'll be like, nah. Anne Hathaway, oh, please. Nah, I ain't getting third rail now. Now, she be having, she said, that's enough. My back hurts. Because I be doing work, I be putting it in, I have to say. That's all I'm saying. I'm putting it in. That's all I'm saying. Putting that work in, man. See, so that's all I'm saying. So that's why, she done messed me up. Boricua was all I really could see now. That's why I noticed ain't no Boricua on MSG. How you gonna? You got Monica on there. You had the other girl that left, forgot her name. And no Boricua. Come on, baby. You gotta come correct. With all of that walking around New York, you can't get one Boricua. Harlow. I liked Harlow too. Harlow had the flavor of the East Side. Didn't Harlow look like New York East Side? Like not Spanish. I'm talking about rich East Side. Like she looked like, East near the park. That's what she looked like, didn't she? Harlow had that flavor, like the vibe that she was like from Park Avenue somewhere. That was Harlow, man. That white woman from Park Avenue type stuff. But it wasn't like she was Miss America, but she had the vibe though. I liked Harlow. I miss Harlow. But with all the Boricua walking around, why can't they just get one? Yeah, she had that Park Avenue, 5th Avenue, 93rd Street stuff going. She had that Wally vibe, right? You got that Wally vibe, right? Wally vibe, man. Wally putting in work. I think he got a whole bunch of kids from his wife too, his former wife anyway. That boy don't play. I'm glad he made a lot of money. I'm glad he did. Because daggone, he got a tribe, man. Shoot. Wally be putting in work, man. Carrasco was all right. She wasn't like, I liked Carrasco. But when she left, I was a little concerned. But when they went and got Harlow, and just from the beginning, I liked Harlow. She asked the right questions. She don't try to catch the players and something. And she got a vibe of New York. It's East Side New York. That's what it is. She got that vibe with her. And it wasn't that she, like I said, I didn't find her particularly physically attractive, but she's attractive because of the vibe she brings, man. I like that vibe. Yeah, she had the swag going, no doubt. That she could stand with her stuff going with that mic, man. I'm like, man, why she had to leave, man? That. But the Sunni vibe. Oh, yeah. Where is she from? Y'all know? I mean, she's American, but what's the nationality of her peoples? Where's she from? Where her peoples from, man? Sunisia Lee. Ooh, Sunisia Fabsumfo Lee. What the hell? She's from Minnesota. Laos, oh, that makes sense. She got that. Yeah, Laos. That makes sense. She's from Laos. She's from Minnesota, but her family's from Laos. She's from Laos. Yeah, she's from Laos. Her family's from Laos. Yeah, that makes sense. She got that look. Yeah, she got that look. Yeah, pretty, stacked, smooth skin. OG better stop messing around, though. OG better stop. Maybe OG got something better. I don't know. Carrasco, to me, had a Long Island vibe. Right? What do you think? She was like an Italian from Long Island, not even from Brooklyn. She was Italian from Suffolk County, Long Island. Just like Han and Zerbiak. They are Long Island boys, both of them. They Long Island boys. I could see them coming from somewhere on Long Island. And they act like that. They got that vibe too. And Carrasco had that vibe, that Queens Italian vibe, you know. I ain't gonna say nothing, Coach Hauser. See, you ain't not getting me like that. You're not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Carrasco had a Long Island vibe to it. But we the New York Knicks, right? So Harlow had that city, that East Side city vibe, that flash, that style. Harlow was really, I liked her, man. She ran her own communication company, Andrew. Yeah, I guess she must have got broke off from baby daddy. She must have got broke off from baby daddy, and she started her own. You know, she went to school at Princeton. She's smart as hell. Harlow come from Princeton, man. They ain't no joke. You don't go to Princeton unless you smart. She went to Princeton, and so she probably took that loop that she got break off from baby daddy, which you know she got broke off. She ain't gonna just pop no baby and just come up with nothing. No, she's not. She's too smart for that. So she popped the baby, got broke off, and started her own communication company. Yeah, her own communication company. So that Harlow's smart as hell. So that's why she go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mr. Williams. It could be Nassau, but I feel like Han remind me of dudes I went to high school with. I went to high school in Suffolk, and he reminded me of the white boys I went to high school with. Han and Zerbiak. They both remind me. Port Jefferson out there, you know, Babylon, Bayshore. They remind me of them, you know, Hempstead, maybe even like, oh man, them places out there. Great Neck's National, though. But I'm saying that they remind me of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what they got that. Yeah. Yeah. Quorum. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you know, bro, don't let me see it in DC or Minnesota again. I need to get in shape so the next time I take a picture with her. That was fun as hell, man. I had my son. I said, "Oh, that's my." He said, "Who's that?" I said, "Man, you don't know." I said, "We're gonna get a picture here." I called. I said, Miss McNutt, I've been watching you." Oh, Port Jefferson, that's North Shore, right? Coach Hauser, Port Jefferson, North Shore. Coram, Port Jefferson, that's North Shore. That is Northern State Parkway, right? Northern State Parkway. Malik says, "Yo, I got the squeeze though. I just got to squeeze, Malik. That's all I'm saying. I can't get more than the squeeze. I ain't no good with nobody else but that body." She is sweet. She really, in all ways possible, Monica is sweet. Man. She's Port Jefferson, North Shore. That's what we would call North Shore. I was on the South Shore, Babylon, Amityville, Copeg, Lindenhurst. You know, that was South Shore. I was on the South Shore, Massapequa Park. That's Southern State Parkway. Northern State Parkway is Coram, Port Jefferson. What am I missing? There's a bunch of them out there. CI, I thought CI was South. I thought CI was South. CI, I ain't heard that in a minute. Y'all remember Spellbound? K Solo? He was from CI. Rocking from my home from CI. Yeah. K Solo was from CI. Ron Conklin was out in the middle of nowhere. At least it used to be. Wyandanch, Babylon, something Hills, Half Hollow Hills. Nah, man. Yo, Andrew, I don't do that. No, man. Call me butter, baby. No. Smooth, man. I got to watch how I flow because I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean? I don't want to get in trouble. That's my problem. I got to check myself before I wreck myself. Yeah, macaroni, baby. Macaroni with cheese. That's right. That's right. I got to check myself before I wreck myself. Oh, you like watching Monica's reaction? It is cute. I ain't gonna front. She's cute as hell when she reacts. She got that cuteness about a little kid in her face, man. She is. Exactly, Coach Hauser. That's the one I had put my hand on her back and not her backside. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Background, not on the backside. Because, shoot. Dang. I didn't want her to think I was a perv. You know, she don't know me. So, yeah. But it was a nice moment, though. I ain't gonna front. But wait a minute. Port Jefferson, Coram. What else out there in the North Shore? Talk to me, Coach Hauser. What else out there? My mom's had a condo out there in the North Shore. Damn, what was that? Port something. She had a condo out there. Was it Northport? I think it was, no, not Northport. But all that's North Shore. No, not the Hamptons. It's before that. It's on the North Shore, though. There's Port Jefferson. There is Coram. There's like Center Reach. Like, what else? You know, something like that, man. Ronkonkoma was farther, like, just straight out there, like Riverhead. That's where the jail is. Patchogue, yeah, Patchogue, like that. Yeah, Patchogue, right. Patchogue. No, Patchogue was in Suffolk. But then again, the North Shore was Suffolk too. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was another one though. Can't think of it right now. Yeah, but yeah. There, out there. Well, you got to drive on Northern State Parkway to get to wherever you're going. You can't get there on the Southern State Parkway. You got to get there on the Northern State Parkway. If you could get on the Southern State Parkway and get there, then you're not North Shore. That's Southern. That's South Shore. If you got to take the Northern State to get there, that's North Shore. It's very simple. It's just, you know, Northern runs like that. So if you taking Southern State Parkway, you're on the South Shore. If you taking Northern State Parkway, you're on the North Shore. Okay, it's very simple. And I'm not very versed on the North Shore because my whole life was the South Shore. I was in Hempstead. I was born in Hempstead. My family's from Hempstead, and then we moved out to West Babylon, and then everything is on the South Shore. Everything's on the South Shore. Yeah. I miss Long Island, but it's not the same. When I was a kid, man, it was a whole different thing. Yeah, Patchogue, Comstock, who else? Like I said, Port Jefferson, Coram, all that is North Shore. All that Center Reach, all that I think is North Shore. Yeah. Is Smithtown North Shore? I can't remember. Is Smithtown North Shore? Is it? Okay. I don't know. Levittown. I get Levittown confused with Smithtown. But yeah. CI, yeah. I didn't know CI was North Shore. I thought that was more in the middle. CI, right? Central Islip. I thought that was more in the middle, but I don't know what I know. It is in the middle, right? Okay. Yeah. Wantagh, South Shore though, isn't it? Is that North Shore? I don't know. Long Island is big. I think Long Island have about 10 million people on there. I think so. Long Island is big. It ain't no small place. You know, Long Island is big time. There's a lot of people out there. Always been a lot of people. Yeah, Steve Mills had a brother named, was it Chauncey? He played for Hofstra. Steve Mills' brother played for Hofstra. He graduated with me. I played against him. He was kicking my behind too. I knew he had two brothers. He had a brother named Tracy Mills. He had another brother. I think his name was Chauncey Mills. And Chauncey played for Hofstra. And they played at with a student named John Burt. John Burt had hands like Dr. J. He was only like 6'1". They played for St. Agnes. Steve Mills' brother played for St. Agnes. I don't remember where Tracy played, but Steve played for Princeton, and his brother played for Hofstra. he graduated from St. Agnes. He was all Long Island, and he graduated from St. Agnes, little school, but there were some bad dudes there, man. There was some bad dudes. I remember them. The Mills were some bad dudes, man. Steve was kind of a hero of mine because I was so ignorant. I didn't think a black dude could get into an Ivy League school. And when I saw him playing for Pete Carril, I saw him on Channel 9 against St. John's. And I said, Steve Mills plays for them? I couldn't believe it. And I asked my cousin, I said, he said, yeah, Steve Mills played for them. I said, oh, shoot. I didn't even know that. I was so proud. I wasn't even that close to their family. I was so proud of him, though. I was like, Dad, he went to Princeton, man. Yeah, his brother, I think his name was Chauncey. And that was the dude that went to Hofstra. Now you're going to get me to look it up because I know he had two brothers that I knew, Tracy, and I think it was Chauncey. Let me see. I'm gonna ask Google. They was a very they said Steve Mills is when Roosevelt, but I remember all of them from Hempstead. The Mills. They played summer league in Hempstead anyway. They're not saying it. They're giving me some country music dudes. I can't. I don't got it now. But he had two brothers that I knew, Tracy, and I think it was Chauncey. Yeah. Travis, something like that. He played for Hofstra. He was good. He was all Long Island my senior year. It was his senior year, too. I played against him once. He cooked me, man. That dude was good. He cooked me. That Mills boy cooked me. Him and John Birch. And they all played with my cousin, too, so they knew me from my cousin. It was cool. Back then, I don't know what it is now, but New York, Long Island was cool. Hempstead, everybody knew everybody. Yeah, there was another dude named, Satch. We called him Satch. That was another bad boy. He was from Roosevelt, Satch. I don't know if y'all remember Satch. Satch Cabal. Brawley. Steve Brawley. That was his name. Steve Brawley. That was a bad dude. Then was Wayne McCoy, the Hawk. There was some bad boys out there, man. Some bad dudes out there. Bad dudes out there. Jeff Rulin was out there. Played for Sachem. I remember him. We played against him. Yeah, we almost beat him too. We gave him a run. They beat us, but we gave him a run though. We knew who he was when we finished. And then we was there. Man, there are a lot of nice players out there in Long Island. They probably still is. Long Island full of talent, man. Long Island full of talent. All kind of artistic talent, basketball talent, football talent, baseball talent. Long Island got a lot of talent. Strong Island for real, man. Can't shoot. For real. Ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. Yep. Yeah, man. Anyway, we've been on here for a minute. Dang, I ain't realized it was 7:00. So, yeah, we played Sachem. We lost there in the Suffolk County finals. Yeah, it was the Suffolk County finals. We lost. We were going for the Suffolk County championship. We lost this Jeff Rulin and them. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Cherokee, I ain't realized, man. So look, y'all, I done already ate dinner. I done already had my little wine. I'm just going to chill for a minute. I don't know if I'm going to work out today or not. It's been a long day. But look, thanks for hanging out with us today. We had a good time. Thank you, Coach Hauser, Mr. William, Baptiste, Nice New One at 718, Cherokee Indian, Malik Sabaz, my brother Lonnie, Desert Eagle. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And everybody else, Andrew Abraham, thank you all for hanging out today. Please be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully we get an official Shamet signing. I will be happy. Let's get that done. Let's get it done soon. Thank you all for hanging out with us, man. We will see y'all again soon. Hopefully, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Shalom. Thank you, Richard Williams. I actually didn't look at that video yet that you sent me. I got to look at it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Richard Williams. Appreciate it, man. Shalom to you.